Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to the Soundout live stream of Mondays and stuff, which we still probably need a shorter name for. But today we have a full house in our wonderful voice chat. So, of course, there's me, and we also have my awesome graphic designer, Ryan, the Dark Claw 643.
It's the new year of 2020, season 4, baby.
Woo! We also have the Fighter Cows, also known as Jerry.
The thunder should crash when you say Jerry.
Yes.
Well, how's it going? Happy New Year.
And then also we have Mr. Common Roller himself, Wheelchair 21.
Swearing in 8 seconds gets you in trouble now.
Yep. So if you expect us to be... No, we're going to be super clean because YouTube's apparently getting all...
We'll get Daniel's snap if we do.
Yeah, we're going to try to avoid that.
YouTube is becoming very Third Reich-ish, yeah.
It's becoming very much... I don't know, it's just usual stuff. I've been on YouTube long enough to know, hey, policy change, cool. That'll stick or it won't. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. We're going to be doing something fun today for everybody in the chat. We're going to be doing a poll to decide what we're talking about first, because we're continuing off of last week's Best of 2022 discussion. Last week, we kind of talked about TV shows, movies, tokusatsu, comic books, that sort of stuff. Today, we're talking about toys. And so we're going to put out a poll right now, because I'm putting the poll up right now. So what you guys get to do, box here, the poll is going to be which topic are we covering first, and basically whatever is first place we'll do first, and then whatever second place we'll do second, yada, yada, yada. Pretty cool stuff. I have some other things we'll talk about before then, so I'm going to give the poll about 10 minutes. So if you want to get in on that poll...
If there's a tie? If there's a tie?
If there's a tie, I will flip this dim card. Which I don't think is going to be fair because these things aren't like balanced. But anyways, we'll figure it out. But we'll give about 10 minutes on the poll just so we can sort of get going. I want to make sure we're caught up on our stream here because I got to close that window. Because you know what's fun about OBS, guys? If you have too many windows open, it'll just not work.
It'll just bork.
I noticed.
Before we get to the toy sections, let's talk about what went up on the channel recently because YouTube algorithm be dumb. So if you missed it last week, I have the Blu-ray haul for quarter 4 2022, which is September through December. Covered a heck of a lot of discs there. So check that out if you haven't had a chance to. And then we also have the sort of long Ultra Epica Fusion Card Special Set 01 video, which was essentially just all of the fusion cards that were added in the recent set. This was a labor of love, as well as being a lot of work, because I decided, hey, let me put images in so you're not just listening to sounds without context. And so those two videos are up. And then there's also a YouTube short, which I don't expect necessarily everybody to watch if you watch the main video, which is basically just a promo for that Orb Ring video. And then, of course, last week's live stream is available right here, in case you missed it from last week, if you want to know more about some of the best of 2022. So, on that note, that was last week's videos. So, to go alongside that, I watched movies in the last week, if you can believe it. So I'm making some additions.
I did very similar things. I finally watched Bad Guys, finally.
Good.
And I watched League of Super Pets. I really dislike that movie a lot.
League of Super Pets is a movie I can only describe as, wow, that was a thing. My favorite, you know what? Without going into League of Super Pets discourse, because we don't really have time. League of Super Pets. My experience watching it in the theater was when the big bad guy plan was revealed at the end of the movie. This kid who was sitting in the front row of the theater just shouted out, "Well, that doesn't make any sense," and the entire theater laughed harder at that than anything in the movie. And it gave me so much joy.
I haven't seen an animated film. I haven't seen an animated film that literally feels like it's insulting its audience's intelligence in a long time.
It's a weird movie that I ended up buying toys for because I do like the character designs.
except the animals I'm fine with. The heroes I
Oh, I
don't
didn't buy
like.
any heroes. I just bought the animals.
Cyborg design still literally, literally, like really missed me off a lot.
Yeah, the movie had some elements. But let's talk about good movies. I got to add to the best of. I did 5 movies last week. These 2 are up with them, and I have not had enough time to discern which ones are better. But we're just gonna add to what was the best movies of the year. Um, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is incredible.
I heard fantastic things about that movie.
I
Like so many fantastic things.
I think DreamWorks is really onto something here, as in like they have like a new direction going clearly with their movies lately. Between
They
the
clearly
bad guys
have.
and this, they made more of an impact than Disney has in 5 years of animated movies for me.
You can clearly tell they have a much young, like finally got like new, fresh, young talent at their studio now. That's
What's
giving it like.
what's cool is that it definitely feels fresher because they're now using different art styles than just the Shrek art style. But the thing that I found really impressive with both the bad guys and Puss in Boots was that they're like, all right, we're a PG rating. We're going to go a little bit farther than most like family animated movies go
Don't
these
yeah,
days.
don't they really have some dark stuff in Puss in Boots? I heard like
Puss
really
in
dark stuff.
Boots, how your actions can change you and how life is very important and precious. So yeah, kind of like really good stuff. And the thing is too is that I feel like it does have some of the modern like animated family movie like sort of tropes with some of its jokes, but it doesn't drag the movie down because they use some of them, which I'm like that's going to make like the kids in the audience happy. But the thing is that like I saw it in a theater with mostly adults and everybody was having an amazing time. This was literally like one of the best movies I've seen um, in a long time. But more specifically, that I think that because it has like a really strong message to it, that isn't like it's not like a message that they're out to tell, but it's a message that you absorb by experiencing the story. It's pretty amazing, and then it also is beautifully animated, as you would kind of expect. But I think it also did a great job. This was the thing that I thought was great. It brought back that early Shrek humor style of let's make fun of Disney's fairy tales. And like did not pull any punches on it. It's pretty great. Um, but there is a lot of great stuff in this, and it does sort of that thing that the Shrek movies did well of taking fairy tales that were well known and then twisting them and giving them a different spin. What they did with Goldilocks and the Three Bears in this movie is something I'll never forget.
Though I heard like, especially in terms of villains, I heard fantastic things about the wolf villain.
The wolf villain is probably I want to say it's like the best villain I've seen in an animated movie in the last like 20 years. Not
Wow, really?
necessarily because of like design or voice acting or animation, because it was, but the role he plays in the story is delicious. Um, and then there's like literally 3 groups of villains in this movie. There is the wolf, who I won't say any more about because I want people to watch the movie. There's Goldilocks and the Three Bears, who are a crime family now. It's amazing. And then there is Big Jack Horner. If you're probably like, who the heck is that? Uh, Everyone remember the nursery rhyme of little Jack Horner putting his thumb in the pie and pulling out a plum?
Well, I
Hmm.
remember another Jack Corner who put something else in the pie, but that was called American Pie, and you know where that led.
Exactly. But anyways, Big Jack Horner
This
is
is
Jack Horner
YouTuber.
grown up, and he owns he took over the pie empire of his family. And yeah, he's a heartless monster. But that is Puss in Boots: Last Wish. If you haven't seen it yet, this is a movie where I'm like, you should go see it in a theater if you can. But if you can't, this is one of those movies that's good enough that you don't have to see it in a specific like viewing context. It's just watch it at some point. Um, Anyways, that was great. My other movie, which I just watched last night, so technically it's not even a 2022 watch, but it came out in 2022, was Missing Image. I have my dramatic reveal planned. We'll just reopen it. It is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. I still can't figure out how to point on camera. Knives Out was a pretty great film in my eyes, and Glass Onion is, I think, actually a lot better in so many ways, because I have watched a lot of murder mysteries in my life, like probably too many, and so sometimes murder mysteries can get a bit predictable, but Glass Onion kept me on my toes and kept me engaged watching the entire thing while sitting in my living room watching TV, because it was on Netflix. So I was like, if a movie can glue me in when I'm sitting at home that intensely, that's something really special. The twists and turns were things I didn't expect, and I once again want to remind Ryan Johnson, your place in this industry is making murder mysteries,
Not Star Wars.
Anyways,
Like it's kind of it's really annoying when people just automatically think Ryan Johnson is a bad director because they just don't like that one Star Wars movie.
Oh, no.
He
that
made
one
other
Star
bad
Wars movie
movies.
is completely in line with Ryan Johnson's entire body of work. It just doesn't work for a franchise like Star Wars with its preconceived notions of how things should be. Now, Knives Out, or specifically the Benoit Blanc mysteries, are something really special, and I don't really want him to get distracted by Star Wars again. I really would like to see him make more of these movies.
It's more of his element, what you say.
It really
With
is.
these kind of...
Because the thing is okay. SSJ4 Jason just said a Star Wars murder mystery. Yes, if it's that, he can do a Star Wars movie. I think him doing murder mysteries is really his.
Being like a Mos Eisley film, or like some kind of like special on Disney Plus of like someone murders someone at Mos Eisley, but it's like a big mystery. It's the whole who shot first.
Cal said
Greedo?
Jedi Columbo, and I'm in. I'm already sold. Yeah, no, exactly. You could do something like in a cantina, or because Star Wars has a lot of rich people with mansions.
Just do Coruscant.
Do it in Coruscant, yeah.
You know
Because I
what?
think
You know what? Do a Coruscant, but pre Jedi execution. So like it's actually Palpatine the entire time, and no one figures out. But we all know because Palpatine, is the Sith Lord.
the great thing about the Knives Out films, which I've still got to figure out how to point backwards. The great thing about both Knives Out films is that both of them have completely caught me off guard at some point, because they're not afraid to lie to the audience and give you false clues, like literally false clues. So if you're a murder mystery fan and you like a really good movie, Glass Onion is high on my recommendations. So there we go. That closes out 2022 movies, because I don't have any more on that note. But yeah. What
Man,
else we got?
out of context, Simpsons just posted something me and Jerry were talking about before he went to bed last night.
You want to share it with the class?
It's the steak
probably
eating
check the
contest
chat.
episode.
That's what I say.
Steak eating contest.
Oh yeah, you're Tony Randall.
Literally, they're posting that on out of context Simpsons right now, and I'm like, man, what is with us talking about it and then out of context?
It's almost like one of
Jerry-
us runs it.
Jerry, it's you. It's totally you.
All right, so let's see. We did the poll for 11 minutes. I'm going to run another 4. I'm going to talk about video games briefly, because, I mean, all of these games could have massive discourse that would take the entire stream, but I don't want to. So, we're going to run through these, and if you guys got brief thoughts, we can do that. These are 5 games that I think were like the 5 best games I played the year. I thought about this a lot, because a lot of games disappointed me this year. So, here we go. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, first up, Sonic Frontiers. I haven't finished it yet. I'm close to finishing it. I would like to say that it's Sonic Adventure 3 in a new skin, because this really feels like a Sonic Adventure game. Don't you agree, Ryan?
Frontiers is a fantastic game. I beat it a few weeks ago. It literally made me cry near the end.
I really hated Chaos Island, though, I gotta tell you.
It's definitely the most confusing island to navigate through. I'll definitely say that. It's one of those, the only problem is especially story progression, you really need to find a specific thing to grind rail on to like get to the place you need to get to. And, like, I feel like the only thing that's really problem of Chaos Island is navigation, because I think exploring the island's fine. It's just like trying to go from point A to
Yeah.
point B.
Getting across
stories
all
of-
those gaps to get to where you need to go it just took way too long.
A misconception I would say is people think you need the bird to navigate the place. It's actually not true. I navigate the whole island without using
Oh, I
the
just
bird
kept blowing up
once.
the birds. I didn't know you could actually.
Yeah,
use
that's
them
it,
for
because
anything.
you really need to yeah.
Anyway, Sonic Frontiers is great. It builds on everything good about Sonic games in the last 20 years. Not a perfect game, but definitely a step in the right direction, and I hope Sega keeps going in this.
What do you think of the Supersonic boss fights?
Oh, I love the Supersonic boss fights. You're telling me I get to fly around as Sonic, as Supersonic, fighting giant ass robots while New Metal's playing in the background? Yeah, okay, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I was sold. The soundtrack is incredible, and I love the game.
This game introduced me to Scream with Sirens. I'm curious to listen to more of their songs, because if they're anything like the Supersonic boss fight music, I'm really excited to hear more.
I love Crush 40, but this proves you don't need to have Crush 40 to have a great soundtrack. But Sonic Frontiers, still pointing backwards. Sonic Frontiers is great. It's honestly, it checks all the right boxes for a Sonic game, and yeah, I really did like it. I'm saying this like I finished it, but I mean, still got the last 2 sections to do, but that's not a large chunk of the game. Anyways, next up, Capcom Fighting Collection. If the Game Awards could nominate that one JoJo game that was a remaster, I can call this one of the best games of 2022. It's basically Darkstalkers and Friends, but it also lets me play War.
I'm just happy a collection like this happened, because Darkstalkers, I think Darkstalkers is the big push for the game. Of course, that's what they usually push for the game. But having games like Cybots and such like that, like games.
This is the first home console release of. This is the first home console release of Red Earth, aka Warzard, ever.
Yeah, Red Earth is like one of my favorite of the obscure Capcom fighting games next to Cybots, and like I love I assume they pick it up, but just to see that like these obscure fighting games could get a new life and fan base is really great, because I essentially think I wanted to see them do the whole Red Earth concept again, because a like Dungeons and Dragons style fighting game I could think can work beautifully.
They keep trying to put RPG elements into fighting games without realizing Red Earth did it first and best. And the point is that if you can get Capcom Fighting Collection, absolutely get it. I bought it twice. I bought it on PS4 and Switch because it's so good. And I love these games, and I love having this option of playing these games. Adding to that, the only complaint I have is they didn't need to throw in that one Street Fighter 2 version that's in it. We have a 30th anniversary collection for Street Fighter. We didn't need a Street Fighter.
I think they just. I think they only added it just to have like. Oh look, this is like it was a mandatory. You need to have a Street Fighter thing, and then you collect.
It was probably some executive's thing. If you don't put a Street Fighter in, it's not going to sell. I'm like, yeah, but Puzzle Fighter's there. That's close enough.
But it doesn't have Street in the name.
I will say though, Capcom, please make more collections if you can.
I hope they make a 3D fighting game collection, because I want to play Rival School and then sequel Project Justice again, like with online play, because I love Rival Schools and
like I would like to see Capcom versus SNK come back, at least in a collection.
The fact that Rival Schools is coming out of Ryan's mouth and not Jerry's mouth is astonishing.
Say again? Rival Schools? No, I love Rival Schools. Rival Schools is great.
Wheels was just expecting Jerry to say it first.
Yep.
But no, yeah, like if we can't get a brand new SNK for the Capcom, like just a port of those, like
that was my thought process with this and Darkstalkers. At least if we can't get a new one, let's just get the old ones out there again so we can play them, because they're
especially great. CVS 1 and 2, man. I want
Like I think
all we have is a PS2 release that's only available on the PS3 store.
Yep.
I also really want to get SNK versus Chaos release again, because that's the most obscure
Chaos?
of the. Yeah, I want that to come back. That's the most obscure one, even though I really like that game's roster.
Mm-hmm. All right, next game, Bayonetta 3.
Oh boy.
Can of worms. I'm going to be brief. This is on here because this is a really well-made video game. Oh my god, do I hate the story. I was like, wow, I don't really like the story, and then by I got to the end of it, I was like, you know what, I actually didn't like any of this.
Yeah, how do you feel about the story? That's the big
I
because
re-
that's the one that you hear about. Is the game is great gameplay, stories.
The
It's such a good
story was
ending.
written by Kamiya without any supervision, and God, it's awful. In terms of like
Because
gameplay, I think it's great, but story pacing is awful. It's way too short. They try to do too much in it, and it ultimately is just the story is basically how many times do you want to watch Bayonetta die?
I like the concept of the story and I like the concept of Viola, but like the way how they execute everything, it is very.
I didn't like the
I
fact that
feel
they only have you play as Viola 4 times, and then it. Minor spoilers. The final battle is with Viola, and I still didn't know how to control her by that point because she plays completely different than Bayonetta. And I just sat there after a really terrible ending, playing an epilogue fight, going, "Wow, should I even bother finishing this?"
isn't John only available in like 2D sections or whatever?
I
What
do
was
like
it?
Jean's 2D sections, but it is kind of dumb that unlike the other Bayonetta games, you can't unlock her to play as like a skin of Bayonetta in the
You have
previous
to beat the game
stages.
to unlock. You have to beat the game to play with her. From what
Yeah,
you hear,
you can
right?
play as Jean in Witch Trials, but you can't play as her in the main game, unlike the previous 2 games. And then what happens to Jean in the story just makes me realize, oh wow, okay, I think Kamiya just hates Jean, and that is awful because I love her. So I boy, I will tell you this much that the ending to this game was so bad that like they announced Bayonetta Origins at the Game Awards, and I was just like, wow, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow,
This game
really?
scorned me so
I was
bad,
there.
I don't care. I really don't. So yeah, I'm not buying Bayonetta Origins. I think it looks fine as a game and all that. I just don't care. I cannot care at this point. I no longer care about one of my favorite video game series of all time. Kind of wish 3
Wow,
never happened, to be honest.
wow, 3. Wow, that really shows how much the story's kind of sour you then.
Yep, because the thing is that yeah, Bayonetta games are great, but the story has been, it's been complicated before, but here it's just insulting if you're a fan of the characters. If you're not, you'll probably be fine, but if you liked the characters, you probably won't like the story. And that's bad for a character-based action game. So,
Mhm.
Muteki T did say, would you consider this full price or sale? Honestly, if you want to get Bayonetta 3, it is still fun to play outside of the story
Well, that's
stuff. The combat's really good. So probably get it on sale if you care about the
the thing.
characters.
Yeah,
But
that's the
it's kind
thing
of
because
it's an up to you kind of thing at that point. I bought
yeah,
it at
because
full
that's the
price
thing.
with the collector's edition with the fancy box and the art book and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, it's the story might be not great, but like in terms of like, is it worth $6? Like, in terms of production value and gameplay, I think it is.
I think
Still,
it's a little
honestly.
short. It's the shortest of the 3 Bayonetta games, and that's just weird. Considering it's a multiverse story, and you go to all these different worlds, but yet the game is shorter than and even including like they added more gameplay types and like added Jean side missions and stuff, but I still ended up clearing it in less time than Bayonetta 1. So yeah, that's where I'm
It's
like,
weird how
okay,
it's shorter
I don't get
despite the
how it's
longer
shorter.
development time.
Yeah, longer development time. It's a shorter game, and they give you more weapons, more characters, more costumes, more everything. But the
Not as much of a
not
game.
as much to play with it. Like I
Yeah.
finished it, and I was like, I could go back and play it and just skip the cutscenes, but I didn't really feel like doing that because there wasn't that many missions ultimately. I'm glad Commodore 64 made it. Always glad to see names that I recognize in the chat too.
Commodore 64 bringing up a good thing. That's true. Your local library, man.
Oh
Make
yeah,
use of it.
libraries
Yep.
are amazing. Before I
I
started
also
I used to
buying,
rent movies from the library. Yep.
before I started buying comic books, I would just rent them from the library and read them that way. I
yeah,
actually to this day do not own Batman: The Long Halloween because I read it at the library like 3 times, and I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I see some people like oh man, I rent games from my library. So I like, what libraries do you guys go? Because the library near my house is like, no, it just moves like
Mine
DVDs
says
and books.
doesn't have games. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the
My
libraries.
library has graphic novels and the what do you call it, like the tie-in books and stuff like the actual like physical books, like when they had the Star Wars stuff. Like they even had like a whole section for it, and it's a small SOB.
And then the thing is too is that there's a lot of libraries that have now online options where you can rent books and they'll mail them to you, or stuff like that. So always look around for.
That's how I was
stuff.
able to read at least 2 of the Mark Saraceni books.
All right, we got 4 minutes left on the early topics here, so we're gonna cut. TMNT Shredder's Revenge is my next favorite game of the year because
Great game.
literally a perfect game. I mean, it runs better than anything I've ever played. Yeah,
Shredder's Revenge. Oh yeah, dude! Remember when it came out? We all played it together.
Yeah, we did a stream on Kaus's channel. We got 4 people, and we ran through the entire game in one sitting.
How do you feel about Casey being unlockable post-story?
I think it's great. I admittedly haven't played as much with him as I was going to because, you know, I haven't gone through the game a second time because I got the Cowabunga collection. And I was playing that.
They recently released a free update to the game.
I'm probably going to make another run through the arcade mode one of these nights when I'm like, I want to play a game for a couple hours. Yeah, Shredder's Revenge. It actually plays perfect. Like there's no technical errors with it, which is really really cool. Honestly.
No, well, I remember when there is some, but I think they patched it out. Where I remember when me and my friends were playing it online, like day 1 when it came out, there were some weird online glitches we went into where one of our characters won't even like like me, like one player like appears like me and the other player will keep move and do combat, but the third player would just be frozen still, and like the only way to fix it is we had to exit the stage and re-enter it.
Oh yeah, that was an early issue, but that got fixed I think pretty quick.
Yeah, it got fixed.
Yeah. Anyways, great game. Dang it, I keep pointing in the wrong direction.
Game.
Lastly, because I think I'm still the only one that's played this. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Absolutely, like probably my favorite game of the year.
I think I played it.
Marvel's Midnight Suns is great. I already talked about it and did a whole live stream on it.
Yeah, we did a whole stream. I definitely do want to get it when it's on sale because it does look interesting. It just currently right now it's not in the budgetary reasons, but I definitely want. It's one of those like I do want to get eventually kind of games.
All right, I'm going to end the poll now because we've been running at 25 minutes. Let's see what the results are. We're going to be talking about Blu-rays first, then Transformers, then Tokusatsu, then Figuarts.
Do we want to read some chat questions before we move on to the next topic?
Do we have any straight up questions? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna start picking up Blu-rays. Because I've been watching it and I haven't seen too many questions.
All right, Rush to Wonder. Do you think Power Rangers is in a rut? If so, maybe they should restart from scratch.
Toku Chris had a great tweet today where he was saying that he talked to somebody and they were like, "Oh, do you think Cosmic Fury will get a season 2?" And he's like, yes, but not because I think it's going to be good or anything, but because Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury is just Hasbro's answer to the reboot's not ready yet. Let's just push it off another year. And I agree. I mean, I can't argue with that. Dino Fury was supposed to be just 1 season, and then it was suddenly bumped to 2 after they wrote the season, and yeah, I mean, it does seem like whatever the current Power Rangers show is, it's just a means to an end at this point.
A filler.
Yeah, and I think that's also why, like, for me, I don't really feel like watching Dino Fury because I can kind of sniff out the filler part of it too much. But also just because I'm tired of the current writing team. That's just a personal thing. But anyways.
You know who I'm most tired of is that Becca Barnes.
Yeah, I think because she's been the lead writer.
Everyone keeps saying she's a good writer, but I think she's only a good writer on stuff that isn't Power Rangers.
Yeah, she's been on the team since Dino Supercharge, I want to say, right?
Yeah. And I think that writing-wise, I think storytelling-wise, Power Rangers does a pretty decent job. Dialogue-wise, oh my god, can we get somebody to write dialogue that sounds like natural dialogue? It's pretty awful, but anyways, that's also me. I just know.
We could write dialogue for them right now. It's called Stop Talking Down to Your Audience. Stop talking down to your characters. They're all in like freaking elementary school grades 1 through 5.
Treat your audience with some respect, and you're on Netflix now, so you don't have to listen to Nickelodeon rules. But on that note, let's.
Which stuff do you grow out of?
Here's a quick answer. I'm basically growing out of the Power Rangers TV series in its current state. Because I just can't be bothered to watch Dino Fury. Just because I just don't. I've
Your
tried it
connect
and I
sound
just
kind of
don't like it.
sound your audio and stream is kind of getting stacky a little bit.
Yeah, I was just noticing the dropped frames. We're losing frames by the moment. I can't fix it. OBS is not okay. I think we're back. I think it's OBS says we're
I'll go
reconnected.
check.
Something was
All
pulling
right,
bandwidth in the background.
so yeah, it's the stream is buffering.
Was it Darkon?
No, it's not that.
Darkon was talking about Dropbox the other day.
Could be Dropbox.
We're back now. It looks like we're back now. All right, so
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah,
all
we're
right,
back.
so next question. Do you guys think Jada Toys would make Tekken figures?
They could.
No, it might be Bandai.
I'll say
Collection.
because Bandai owns that
Like,
property.
if they do like an Anime Hero spinoff, then
I am so baffled Bandai has not made actual opposable figures of their video game characters that they fully own the rights to. Like
that
Tales
they haven't done Tekken as Figuarts yet is astonishing.
like Tekken, Tales of, like they just did the Pac-Man only like last year,
And they still can't
like,
get Miss Pac-Man out for some reason. I think we're finally catching back up.
Well, that's a legal reason. That's a legal reason.
Well, they showed the
out of their
prototype
hands
for
why they
one.
show Miss Pac-Man.
They showed a Miss Pac-Man
I
prototype and they just didn't make it.
Well, yeah, it's probably. Let's see. Any more questions? Is it possible that we'll be getting Marvel's Capcom collection? I mean, there's the
I would have said no years ago, but we have an arcade one-up cabinet that has all the Marvel vs. Capcom games, so I'd say just a matter of time, honestly.
I imagine Disney need to work out the deal with Disney.
The Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet that had all the other Marvel vs. Capcom games in it sold out, and it was like $650. So I think that just tells all the corporations there's demand, and so they can probably do what am I talking about? Do a smaller price collection and sell more units because they've got a marker for sales, which is what companies need.
Common Jojo, are you guys fan of the Yakuza series?
Kaus is a big fan of the Yakuza series.
I'm literally playing through Yakuza 5 like right before I got here, and
I have all the Yakuza games besides Lost Judgment right now, and also the ones that are not
Lost Judgment. Woo.
Besides the ones that are not in Japan, outside of Japan, like Ishin.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
Kenzan and Ishin's coming soon.
Soon, yeah. But yeah, I play the one I play the most is Like a Dragon, but I'm taking a break on that right now so I can catch up again, playing 0 onwards.
But yeah, I've been playing since literally the first Yakuza on PS2.
With Mark Hamill, Mijima.
Mark Hamill's Majima, and cuss words that we can't say here. That
Let's see.
Dub had an F-bomb every 2 seconds.
Max Keel. Apologies if I mispronounced the name. Hey, Standout. That's Standout.
Autocorrect really butchers Soundout anytime people type it for the first time.
Love your material. I was wondering where you seen Hanuman and the 5 Riders. If so, any dots? It's a strange. What's that? Is that bootleg film?
That was one. I think it was a Taiwanese film. I know of it, but I haven't watched it in full.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, look, it's a bootleg. It's a Korean, I think, knockoff with the.
It's kind of like there was an Ultraman movie that's how Chayo started doing their stuff, which was in Taiwan because licensing was different there or something like that. Anyways, I'd have to research that more because I know of it, but I don't know it.
So as you can see, any ideas wise, complete section, Birth and Oja did not get a U.S. release. Team Bandai said it was copyright issues, maybe music.
It could be music because none of the other stuff has come over. I don't know. I wish that there would be more clear answers on those kind of things, but we're never getting them, so we're just gonna have to guess. I think when they couldn't bring the O's over. I said, well, if they can't bring Birth over, then it's a problem with something related to O's, which I can't explain. it could be actor problems. I don't know. Does the voice actor for the O's stuff work for Johnny's and Associates? I don't know.
Let's see. One last question. Calvin Jojo. Santa, are you Mexican?
By blood
Partial.
relation through my father, yes. So not full, but partial.
Right, yeah, and that's all the questions.
All right,
for
cool.
now.
Let's do the best Blu-rays of the year, because that was our number one voted. That was 53% of the vote. People wanted to see my best Blu-rays first.
It's
So
definitely gonna be your turn because I don't collect as much Blu-rays as you do.
exactly. So if you guys want to comment, cool. If not, we'll just roll through these. I don't know. We're not going to roll these quick. I do want to get. I do want this live stream to end at like 7. So first things first. Tangled the series from Disney Movie Club because it exists. This is one of those like, is this a particularly great Blu-ray? I don't know. It's in surround, but it's only in 2.0, not 5.1 like it is on Disney Plus. But who the
Didn't
hell
even know there
cares?
was a
Disney
Tangled
released a
series.
complete
Woo.
show. Disney put out a complete show on Blu-ray. It's doable, and not like an old one, but like a newer one with Tangled here. So
I think yeah, this is their first of the newer animated stuff that they release.
Mhm.
Because I don't because Owl House no, Amphibia no, Gravity Falls was shout. Big
Yeah.
Hero 6 no, Big Hero 6 no. So yeah, I think literally this is like the first like newest anime series Disney has released.
Yep, newest show release, and it is all 68 episodes plus the movie that kicked it off. It doesn't have the shorts, but like that's the only thing missing. Otherwise,
Oh, wait, they released one DVD for the Big Hero 6 animated series, but it was like one
Yeah.
of those like a couple episodes,
a handful of episodes kind of thing. But anyways, this is great just because it exists, and I'm very glad for Disney to.
I'm honestly surprised
do
they
more.
did not. I'm surprised they haven't released the DuckTales reboot on home media yet, since how that was a big success for them.
Yeah, that
Right?
may be coming later. I feel.
I feel like that's coming eventually, since that was such a big hit for them.
I think
DuckTales is
Tangled was
great.
just like a test the waters kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what were you saying, Cass?
Huh?
I heard your voice
I
pop
said
up.
DuckTales is great.
Yeah, DuckTales is great. Okay.
And I didn't know that Tangled existed.
Yeah. Next up, Lupin the Third Part 1. If I had to single out a single Lupin release of the year, it's Part 1 because we got a dub for it. We finally got a dub for Part 1.
It's like a newly recorded dub, also, right?
Newly recorded dub, Tony Oliver cast. It's the usual extensive discotheque release, but on top of that beautiful remaster we got here, it's also a new dub for a show that never been dubbed before, which makes it super accessible and stuff, and I love it. So
Did they dub
this is
Pink
great.
Jacket? Did they dub Pink Jacket era yet?
They didn't because I think what was it? Because they released Part 3, but it was Japanese only, and I think the reason stated was either they couldn't get the music and effects tracks, or it was too many episodes to afford a dub for, because it was like 50 episodes.
Yeah, Pink Jacket was long.
And the thing is, like, it's the same thing for like, oh, would they go back and dub the rest of Part 2? And it's like, no, it's too many episodes, so it complicates things, pretty much. So.
Has there been a release of what's the Hayao Miyazaki Lupin movie again? The Castle
Castle
one?
Cagliostro. It got a
Is it-
Blu-ray and a 4K.
Was there because how did they handle that movie? Because that movie has like several dubs.
They
How
included
did
all
they-
the dubs.
Oh really?
Yeah, you have basically like 6 audio track options on that Blu-ray.
That's crazy.
The craziest one is Mystery of Mamo because there's 9 audio tracks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so when they can include, they'll include as much as they can, and yeah. So with Lupin the Third Part 1, that's a great release, and I hope they get to do Part 2 at some point. I know that's like the longest Lupin, so it'd be in volumes, but I'll take it. But anyways, move along. The Star Trek motion picture 6 movie collection.
Insert video here because
Insert video here. I did a video on this. Specifically, the director's edition is one of the most beautiful, like director's cut things to ever exist.
How's the picture quality on the set?
Oh, in this set, like all the movies look spectacular. There was a bunch of discourse about, oh, the movies don't look right. Why are the colors wrong? Because the colors have been wrong since 2009, and people forgot how the movies are supposed to
Oh,
look.
is this a Dragon Ball Orange Brick situation here?
It sort of is, but basically people were comparing to the VHS, the Laserdisc, and the DVD releases to the new 4Ks, and the new 4Ks are matching those, not the 2009 Blu-rays, which were done with a blue tint, essentially.
Oh, so the Broly movie, green tint.
And the superhero movie, too.
The superhero movie got a tint also?
Yes, the Dragon Ball Superhero Japanese Blu-ray has a green tint. Toei got asked about it by customers. They told them they'd get back to them on it, and they put out the statement saying that was how it was all originally intended.
Sure.
So Toei's continuing to be fun. Anyways, Paramount did a great set here, and it's pretty affordable for a box set of 6 4K movies. There's also Blu-ray editions of them that are all singles, which have the new remasters. So yeah, just go for the newest releases of these, and they're probably the best releases they're ever going to get. But they're great, and they have so many bonus features on them. So that's definitely one of them. Next two, because they're kind of related, American Werewolf in London and RoboCop Arrow Video was like, let's take our already great releases, but make a 4K version off the 4K scans we already had. And they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic on both of these. So, yeah, anyways, if you're looking for either of these two movies, pretty amazing releases for two of my favorite movies of all time. So, of course, they're on the list, because the biasm. That's also just how opinions work. Sonic Boom, the complete series on Steelbook, because it's a really good deal and it's on a really nice Steelbook that has a slipcover. Steelbooks with slipcovers are great because it means the Steelbook doesn't get scratched easily. And it's the entire show with the bonus features all in one nice little Steelbook set. And
It just has to have a modern cartoon for the 20 Dutch Fine Guy Blu-ray set because, all of them are in HD, but you have to keep putting them on DVDs.
Yep, this is like one of the only modern like kids, quote unquote kids shows to get like a Blu-ray release, and they released it on DVD, on Blu-ray, and then as a Blu-ray complete series steelbook. So they covered all the bases.
I assume they get that. I assume they get that set. So
I just recommend going for the steelbook. It's priced out best too.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, I assume they get that steelbook just to have the whole series. Hope Prime gets that good release when that comes and when that gets home media release.
That would be nice. All right. So next up, Space Sheriff Gavan. I already declared this the best Tokusatsu release of 2022, and that stands.
What's wrong with the Sentai releases, Sal?
We'll talk about the Sentai releases this week. I'm gonna get I've been not wanting to do so. To be totally honest, with my audience, I have not been wanting to do the Opera Ranger and 5-man video. I've been pushing it off because the comments for my last Sentai DVD video got incredibly hostile, and I don't want to go through that again. But I know as soon as I open the floodgates, it's going to happen again. So I have to essentially do the video very carefully to try to circumnavigate the complaints I got, because I think I did leave out some like key details and I didn't really structure that original Sentai video that well. So I want to kind of like repair a little bit of like the gaps in my commentary. But like,
when you say, will you call it less of an addendum video, more of a remake video?
It's sort of a remake, but more so because so much changed between, because like literally when I made that previous Sentai DVD video, there was no chance the Sentai DVDs were coming back, and now they're back. So yeah, okay, now I have to go with, oh yeah, my prediction of them never coming back was wrong.
I mean, how their video they came out they came out before they came back there to be wrong. It's not like it was made before that information came out.
Will in the chat also asked, how bad was it? Let's see. People were calling me a liar. People were saying I was making stuff up. People were saying I hated Sentai and wanted it to die. People were telling me that I had no right to talk about the Sentai DVDs. People were like, oh no, these DVDs are really good. You're wrong. And I'm like, they're called opinions. I don't think the Sentai DVDs are that great.
I mean, I can't even say opinions because
I got somebody in my comments. If anyone wants to find out, MMPR Toys left a comment in my comments. So if you want to go look for that, that's a fun one. Because that devolved into him causing trouble, and I almost kicked him out of that chat. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. That video's comment section, I haven't I honestly kind of want to like delete half the comments, but I kind of want to leave them there for posterity. But that has been the most toxic comment section I've ever had in 14 years. So yeah, Not really looking forward to going back to the Sentai DVD topic, to be honest.
It always like bothers me when people say you're wrong about the Sentai DVDs quality wise. Where like it's literally just look, you can just have to compare and contrast the other Tokusatsu releases, and you can see the problem with them. It's like I'm sorry, but here's the good. It's good we're getting Sentai released in the West. That's the good thing. But like we want quality releases also. That's the thing.
And that's the thing is like when I'm criticizing the quality of the Sentai DVDs, it's not because I want them to stop. It's because I want them to be good. Because the thing is that for the price they go for, they should be way better. And the thing is that before it was like, okay, maybe that's just how it has to be because of Toei and all that. But another one of the best releases of the year, Kamen Rider Kuga, proves that you can do a much better release for Sentai than what we currently have. It's just the problem is that I bring up the topic, and if I say anything negative about the Sentai DVDs, I get like a bunch of people that will come after me like I kicked their dog or something. And that's the thing. So I've been putting it off because I don't want to do it because I know how the fandom can be. And so the thing is that definitely the previous video, I kind of just threw it out there because I kept getting like requests to do a video on the Sentai DVDs. And at the time I was like, these aren't going anywhere. I'm just going to throw together a quick video. And I left out some stuff that I definitely should have like put in better because there was some stuff that like I completely just didn't even mention. There's interviews to bring up and all kinds of other things. So I'm trying to decide, is the 5-man and Abba Ranger video going to be like, here's all the things I missed last time? Or is it just going to be, let's talk about 5-man and Abba Ranger and its future? And I'm kind of leaning towards that direction of like, let's talk about the 2 newest releases and what this means for the future of them. Less so about the like past releases and the problems there. Because I think it's just been covered enough between me and other people that have covered it. It's just tricky at times to be working in the tokusatsu space of the Western fandom, but never has it been as bad on here as it was with the Sentai DVDs. And part of that, there are people that called me out and said, hey, this isn't correct. You said this was wrong. Here's something that, correlates. This isn't this. That stuff's great. I don't mind that. I want people to like engage with videos like that where they're like, wait, that person didn't say something correct. Let me put out a correction. I like that. It's the people that were like taking it incredibly personal that I said the DVDs were bad because I don't think they are good. And that's just my personal opinion. I don't mean to say that you shouldn't buy them, and I shouldn't mean to say it's bad that we have them. I would love having them, but they're fundamentally not as good as things in their price point and things from the same companies, and that's the problem essentially.
Yeah,
So,
it just feels like they're trying to be defensive about something they like, and it's not like it feels like a personal attack to them, on them. We're not attacking them. We're just saying that these products could be better for what the price you're paying for. Is the thing.
And the thing is,
We're
like,
paying
I will
$50 for
say,
these things.
like, in the video I said, the video quality is bad because that's the masters Toei has. And people took that as well as saying that I was criticizing Shout for having bad quality. I'm criticizing Shout for having bad quality on subtitles because that's their department. It's not Toei's department. They're supposed to be the ones making the subtitles, so that's the thing that's like Shout should work on the subtitles. Toei's video masters are going to be Toei's video masters. There's nothing they can do about it. But when there is like precision and care and detail put into like Kuga, even though there are still typos in that, the mistimed subs of the Sentai DVDs and the lack of consistency of what they did is kind of a bummer. And there is like there is an interview with Brian Ward from years ago that was like, oh, we, because it was, I think in relation to like people said that they were stealing fan subs, which they weren't. It essentially sounds like they said we looked at fan subs for inspiration on how terminology should be translated, and that's because Toei doesn't have like a set of here is our terminology that it should be in English, so it's up to Shout to figure that out. But still, it's just quality problems exist regardless of the Toei video quality, but just the overall presentation of the package. And that's what I'm trying to critique, so that maybe if Shout sees it, they can take some of that in to make the things better in the future.
Is Shout allowed to buy fan subs, or is legally they can't because of
I do not know, and I'm
Toei?
not going to try to say yes or no and make a guess on it because
Because
that's tricky.
Disco, I forget what Discotech's release of the Metal Hero series did. Those were I forget which one was one was a fan
Just
sub they
Beyond
bought.
was apparently a fan sub that was purchased by Discotech. That's from because I know the people that did the fan sub, because I follow them on Twitter and stuff. And Discotech said that when they licensed Just Beyond, because there was just a fan sub that was just completed, and they essentially bought the fan sub and then they had to tweak it to fit Toei's legal names for things, and that was it, because there wasn't a subtitle track available prior. So that kind of thing. That happens with Discotech. They're a smaller company. So I don't know if it's a Toei rule or a Shout rule, but they may not be able to do that same kind of thing. And that's kind of like, it gets really murky because without just having a sit down with somebody that can just tell you without all the legal trappings, there's really no way to know.
It's always interesting when
yeah.
it comes to like terminology and stuff like that. When it comes to these shows, where because I think of the Shout Japanese Transformer Japanese set where was it a Hasbro mandate that all the characters that have
If they had,
US
Hasbro mandate that if there was an English name for a Transformer, it had to be that in the subtitles,
unless
regardless
it's
of the Japanese name.
unless the Japanese toy and the American toy are so different, right? Was the rule?
Huh.
No, they still had to say
So
Sky
it was
Shadow.
still Optimus no matter what?
Yep.
Even if it's
Yeah,
Convoy?
No,
you hear Convoy, and it still said Optimus on the subtitle.
Huh.
I mean, thank God Jinrai was still called Jinrai. I'll say that.
Jinrai was still
Jinrai.
Jinrai, but Optimus. So
Even
this
though
is
you
the
you hear Convoy clearly, and it's still
they essentially
they were
replaced Convoy with Optimus Prime, which is why there's like the episode of Headmasters, The Birth of the Double Convoy, when they had Optimus Prime and Rodimus Prime. The episode's called The Birth of the Double Optimus Primes.
Because of the
even though it would have made more
technically
sense to say Birth of Double Primes,
Primes,
it said Optimus Primes, and that was some of the weird stuff there.
If I remember right, there are the only such are some the toys that are like vastly different from the Japanese.
Even then,
American, like
Black Shadow's still Sky Shadow in the subs.
Yeah, so
it's
it's a very complicated with the TF Japanese series set in terms of which characters.
But at least we know because Shout said, "Oh yeah, that's what Hasbro told us to do."
Yeah,
because not everything that comes out on disc is the fault of the media company or the label making it. It can be the license holder as well.
Yep.
So again, which just makes it more funny that the victory Haslab pictures are called Holy Holy and not Stakeout, like the DVD did.
And so adding to that, because of things like Kuga and 01, I now have like a model for comparison of here's a Shout release of a Toei show. The commentary can be on Blu-ray because there's an HD video source, where Sentai is on DVD because SD video source. But let's talk about the quality differences for things like subtitles, because that's where I think the majority of the 5-minute Opera Ranger DVD video is going to be about. Because I don't know if I want to drudge up all the drama of the previous video. There's some things.
I would for the clicks.
The thing is that even for the clicks, I don't know if it's worth it, because the problem I had with the previous Sentai DVD videos, I had people on Toku Nation and Ranger Board trying to say that nothing I've ever said in my videos is correct and true because I got one detail wrong in the Sentai video.
God forbid.
Who cares what they say? They're not that bright.
The problem is that, essentially I have two options. I can either try to fix all that and try to change the minds of people that have already decided that I'm not worth anything, or I can just push ahead and talk about new things.
What you said reminded me of oddly enough, even though you're just talking about Sentai.
I'll just say this, no matter what.
Real quick, Kaus, go ahead.
I can say, even though you're just talking about Sentai and toys, what you said about they're saying that you're wrong because you got one detail wrong reminds me of how like different ends of serious scholarship will attack each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about actual scholarship and history and stuff, and they'll do petty attacks like that. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
It's just funny how like no matter what, people are petty.
I'll just say, son, no matter what you do, someone's gotta get angry. You can't please everyone with that video.
Exactly, and I think that's why I want to just kind of not try to just spend the whole time correcting things in the previous video, but just talk about the current releases. talk about what I think the future is and focus on like the current here and now and forward stuff, because I think that's more important, honestly, at the end of the day. And it's more interesting videos for people that aren't following the drama. That's ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to make the videos entertaining. And
I think you should do an entire thing about how Live Man's great, just so you can see your Ranger board come after you like it did that day to me, Mucha, Ivan Hobe, and Shogo.
Are you not talking about like when I review the Super Shoto Live Man set and talk about how it's my favorite Sentai and it will never be topped because it's the best Sentai ever made?
And you got to point out that the Mpreg episode is the best episode, just for lulz.
Nah.
Nah, I don't know if I can stoop that low.
No, you got to.
Top 15 episode, sure. Best. There's
For
that
some
one where
reason,
Colin attaches
like-
a battery to her heart. It's great.
Because for some reason, that's the episode that really gets Ranger board in a tizzy.
Well, anyways, speaking of tizzies, let's move off Sentai DVDs because I do have 2 more in my best Blu-rays of the year. Anyone surprised that Digimon's on the list? I think I praised it enough last week.
No.
I think, do I need to mention anything else on Digimon? Or do I just say, hey, it's like the best thing I've ever seen in my life?
If you're waiting,
Those are really good voices.
I'll say for people, don't wait for get it now, because especially get it now, you want to see the new HD because I don't think if we're gonna see that new HD footage on streaming service, it'll take a while because I imagine there's some
From
like,
what we
exclusive
heard,
rights.
the HD remaster was purchased from Discotech by Toei. And that Toei is the one that dictates the streaming for Digimon, unlike Discotech. So it's not going to pop up on streaming right away. But there's a chance that Toei will update the streams they currently have to the new master. But who knows when that'll happen. I'd say get this. If you want the Japanese, wait for the Japanese. If you want the English, get the English. If you want both, get both. You got options. But if you're wanting to get yourself Digimon, if you want to watch the new HD remaster, just buy the Blu-ray. Because this is going to be it. It just came out, so it's pretty fresh. I think the December 27th was the official street date for it.
But you say the $50 is worth it?
Yeah, totally. Because, and this is the interesting part. I'll link this as well. They weren't able to put the liner notes. They usually do these like extensive liner notes in Discotech releases. They weren't able to put them out.
What's a liner note?
Liner notes are essentially what used to be included in booklets for DVDs or, specifically DVDs, where you'd have a booklet that kind of like talked about the history of the movie you're watching. It's something that definitely happens with CDs still in a lot of ways. But liner notes essentially
music CDs still get.
Yeah, music
notes.
CDs will do it. History. Hold on. Technically, I got one right here. Like for example, this RoboCop set I got comes with this. This is an extensive version in print. This is technically liner notes. It's the history of RoboCop and all its variations that come out over the years, and there's images and stuff. Discotech usually puts those on releases, and Digimon didn't have any, which I thought was kind of weird. They said there was some reason they couldn't do it, and so they released the liner notes online, which I linked in the chat for anyone's curious. It's got the history and an episode-by-episode breakdown of what the dub changed versus the Japanese version, which is just amazing.
At least they put them out.
Yeah, at least they were able to put them out. But yeah, the release is totally worth like the $50-something it goes for, because it's definitely worth it. I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you're gonna get it, just get it as soon as you can. Because if it sells well, which it seems to be selling well, but if they sell really well, they'll probably get to do...
It's available both on Amazon and Right Stuff if you're wondering where to get it.
Those are the best places to get it, Amazon and Right Stuff. I highly recommend Right Stuff because they pack their packaging so that it can be like dropped from a 10-story building and still be okay. Yep. So I recommend Right Stuff, but Amazon's also an option. Yeah, get it if you can, because if it sells, we'll probably be able to get more, which would be really great. And adding to that, I'll do a video. I decided this like a couple days ago. I was going to do a video on it, but I'm going to wait till the Japanese version comes out, and then I'll do a video on both of those, like, together. So that there'll be kind of like a breakdown with screenshots and stuff. Discotech in the liner notes thing has, like, comparison screenshots already. So I think I'll cover it in its own video when the Japanese version comes out. And then that way I can kind of do a compare-contrast of the English to the Japanese as well. And then the number one release is not a Blu-ray, but it's this Ultraman Mabius DVD because oh my god.
It's just how impressive.
I don't know
Like,
how 50
how-
episodes and 4 movies ended up on 6 DVDs, and there's only a couple technical glitches that I think are also present on the Japanese release. I don't know how they did it, and so that's why it's on the list because it's insanely impressive. Nexus is probably my favorite Ultraman release of the year because it's Nexus, but Mabius was so freaking good when it had no reason to be. It shouldn't have been this good. This was the recipe for disaster that somehow ended up being like the best DVD release of Ultraman.
that will definitely be the ultimate comparison to the Sentai DVDs in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean,
especially how.
God, it's amazing. It really is. Anyways, we're gonna get off the Sentai DVD topic. But
let's see, True Hellfire Gaming, they're holding out hope for just the crossword set with the dub for Hunters. That's like, wouldn't that just be off the Toei if they want to dub Hunters?
I still don't know if a Hunters dub existed and just never aired because of how Nickelodeon is. You never know.
That could be, yeah, because like. Technically, because Hunters, because it's Hunters considered a season 3 for Cross War or his own series. I always never figured
Toei
out
considers all of Cross Wars as one series if the Crunchyroll listing is to be believed. Even though it has 2 seasons that are different subtitled, it's all considered one show according to the Digimon website. So.
All right, so Hunters would technically be the season 3 for Cross Wars.
On that note, Blu-rays coming up soon. I got my shipping notice for Gal Gaigar already, even though it's not supposed to be out to the end of the month. So,
that's out already? Wow.
Yeah, right stuff.
And Goldie Marg's also out too. So.
I wasn't talking about the model kits. I was talking about the Blu-ray.
You're talking about the Blu-ray.
I'm gonna have the Blu-ray before I have the model kits at this rate because they still haven't actually stocked at Big Bad yet.
That's funny because my Goldie Marg's in stock.
I think. Oh wait, did they stock and I just haven't shipped it yet?
Yeah, you just haven't shipped it. It's in your warehouse, bro.
There's so much stuff has popped in. I shipped a pile of loot 2 weeks ago. Yeah, okay, they're actually in there. 14 items have come in the last week.
It wasn't supposed to. It literally said it wasn't going to stock for like another week, and then like the last day of the year, it stocked. I was like, you got to be effing to me.
It looks like mine stocked on the 27th.
Yeah, no, it was weird. It was like it's like Goldie Marg stocked on like the 30th though.
All right. Well, on that note, there's lots of Gal Gaigar coming to me soon. But let's talk about Transformers, the predecessor to the Brave series, the sequel to the Brave series, Transformers. Since this was this the number 2? Am I remembering my poll? Yeah. Transformers, 26% on the poll. Okay, so I'm going to go through my top 10 Transformers picks of the year. Some of these may be redundant for the legacy rundown that'll come in the future. But we're going to do this over the next 20 minutes or so. We're gonna run through some things. Yeah, I don't have that much to talk about Tokusatsu toy-wise, but we're going to do Toku toys and some NECA Ninja Turtles stuff, and then that'll be kind of the rest of the next hour. So, let's go ahead with, we'll start small. Chlorcast Studio Series Rumble, or Frenzy, or whoever the hell, blue cassette guy.
Rumble Blue, or
Rumble
I just like to call
Blue.
it the blue. I call him the blue one.
The blue one. I love this. Give it to me in red. Give it to me in Kiss Players colors. I don't care. I'll buy this mold as many times as possible. Seemingly,
because it's
the 2-pack idea for cassettes for Soundwave was not bad, but giving them single releases where they can get all the engineering budget, yes, please, thank you, more.
Because it's the same. Is it the same as the red one that came out during Siege?
No, it's a completely different mold.
Really?
It is a completely brand new mold. He's got the pile drivers. He's got the back guns, but it is an entirely new mold. He's got, hands. He is actually larger in robot mode than the Siege one by a lot. Like, he's actually a lot bigger. And he can still transform into a tape that's the size that'll fit inside Soundwave from Siege.
That could explain, because when I put my blue one in my Soundwave chest, the Walmart one, It was definitely a tight fit for at least my copy. It was a very when I put it in,
It
close the
depends on
chest,
which one it is, because he fits pretty good in Sound Blaster. Blaster, he fits fine. Shatterglass Soundwave, he fits good. Siege Soundwave, he's tight, and then Earthrise Soundwave, he's tight. So
All right, so
yeah.
the ones with the bigger cassette thing are usually better. But
Yep.
yeah, that's the one.
But the fact that they made another figure that is bigger in robot mode but compacts enough to fit into the same chest slot is actual magic to me. I love it. It's absolutely amazing. So anyways, more cassettes, please.
I guess my only thing I wish they did. I don't know if they could do it in the budget, but I wish the pistons could go up and down. Like not even a spring thing.
I mean,
Like,
you can pull them off and you can actually readjust them because they're on 5mm pegs. You just rotate them and you can pull them down so that they're not like springy. You can see it on the stream in a second, but
I didn't know that. I had that
you
figure
can
for
actually
weeks now. I
just
didn't know you could
pull them off and then just put them on at a shorter distance. So that, anyways, Core Class Rumble, pretty amazing figure. Let's see. Let's go to Deluxe Class next because I only got one Deluxe on the list. It's not to say that Deluxes were bad, but I'm going to be honest. The best Deluxe for me of the last year was G2 Leadfoot, and this is simply because I didn't expect a G2 Leadfoot. I only wanted G2 Leadfoot because he was part of the Wreckers in Regeneration 1, the continuation of the Marvel Transformers comic, which, as I've talked about, is my favorite Transformers comic. Anyways, I never expected a nice little update to G2 Leadfoot that looked this good, but I love it.
Yeah, because it's based off the Kingdom Mirage mold, which pretty much what I hear, everything problem of the Siege mold.
I never bought Kingdom Mirage, but now that I've gotten Leadfoot and Crasher, this is definitely the better mold, for sure. But
his legs are not mana translucent, so he's not gonna shatter.
He's not gonna shatter. I love him. His colors. He's bright. He's vibrant. He's got a new head. G2 Leadfoot. That's not going to be on anybody else's top 10, but for me it is. Just because of who he is.
He was. I forget which 2-pack he came with.
He came with the Mastodon fossilizer.
I love that one. I love that. I love the
Muteki T did mention Armada Starscream. I didn't get him yet. He's on my list. I haven't had money.
He's great. His biggest flaw is the pin swivel arm shoulder joint. It can get really loose on some people and not really hold any of the weight. That's probably its biggest flaw.
And that's a common issue because I hear multiple people say that for their Starscreams.
Yeah. No, Starscream's really good. They could have actually gave him a mini-con port for his little butt flap thingy. They actually could have. They just chose not to. I guess because they realized there wouldn't be enough room to put Swindle on there. Even though it doesn't come with a Swindle, you could just use the original mold. These toys are retrofitted that they can use any mini-con generation.
It's very similar to how Metroplex because when Metroplex, there's spots where I feel like a drill bit they could put a drill bit because there's like slots where only like a mini-con would fit in Titan Metroplex.
They should just release them as a core class figure, honestly.
I think that's the plan because it's like one of those it feels like they future-proof the Titan Metroplex.
They supposedly designed drill bit, put him in, and then had to cut him because of budget. But then he didn't instantly pop up in the line, so I'm like, that's weird.
Again, I call it future-proofing, just in case.
I have the third-party set on order that comes with the drill bit, because, yeah.
It comes with better hands.
All right, next pick is a Legacy Voyager in a very bright, garish color that I think is only on my list and nobody else's. It's Road Hauler. Road Hauler is a character that isn't a character. He's literally based on that one crane truck that they needed to pull Optimus out of a ditch.
I dub it a mythos, like a kind of mythos character.
It's a mythos character.
But it's like
Hauler was the first thing I ever searched when I discovered the Transformers wiki because I was so confused as to who that was supposed to be. So when there was a new toy based on one of my favorite Earthrise molds, as being the Grapple one, because I have Grapple, Inferno, Artfire, and Road Hauler. I love this mold.
Well, is it? It's based on the grapple mold, but don't they have the new stuff from Inferno that's 6 a lot of the issues in the grapple mold?
It's got the different feet with the larger peg holes, so they don't
Yeah,
break. But I
saves
love
the
his
pegs
screaming
like that.
head sculpt because I feel like that is the existence of Hauler, right there.
What am I?
Pretty amazing. I love it. This when I went out to Walmart looking for Velocitron. It was like, I need Road Hauler. And then, oh, right, I should also get Override, another one of the best figures of the year. Velocitron's been great. But Override's fantastic. This is what you call updating a Transformer, because there is no reason to have a Cybertron Override now because of this one.
Her idea for me, why I really love the figure, she feels the most solid out of all the legacy stuff. Although she feels the most she feels like she has weight to her. Like, it feels like she's made out of really good plastic and everything. Like,
she feels like a Cybertron toy if she wasn't full of springs like the old one was.
Yeah. Wait, Sound, you need to do the testing now. Get a pencil and we'll see the plastics go in your figures now.
Hear that, guys? That's good plastic. Whoever did the pencil, I don't even remember who the guy was that did the pencil test thing.
Cheftron. It's Cheftron.
Cheftron. All right, so that guy's going to be known as Pencil Guy for the rest of his life, and I think that's hilarious.
Oh, he is. Bot posting already made him the Pencil Guy now.
Yep. Honestly, if I did something that dumb in a toy review, I'd want everybody to roast me forever on it. If you're going to make a thing about plastic quality, do it. Don't try to think that tapping a pencil is going to tell you plastic
forever,
quality.
I was like, promise?
Yeah. Yeah, pencils aren't going to tell you plastic quality. But anyways, Override, fantastic figure. Absolutely amazing. Cybertron's such a good line that's held up so well over the years that it's hard to upgrade a lot of them, because a lot of them are still really good. But this is one of them we needed an upgrade on, because she was all springs before.
I was going to say, a lot of the toys they could deserve with upgrades by just omitting like a lot of their spring gimmicks and shit like that.
The springs killed a lot of the Cybertron toys. They're still insanely accurate.
Yeah, no, because like I remember the springs ruined Scourge for me, because like the little heads just pop off, like they come out. The little shoulder like Energon gimmick.
I would like a new Scourge, just because at this point they should do Scourge and Evac next, just because.
I just want a new Cybertron. I just want a new Cybertron system where, like, we take out the pins, we make them a little bit more. I wouldn't say, a little bit more posable. Like, maybe like redefine their proportions a bit, because the proportions and their engineering did ruin just their articulation.
Like Override's the big example where, like, even ignoring the content of the male female from Galaxy Force and Cybertron, it just that having those springs in the chest just makes that torso a brick.
Robust. Yeah,
it's a brick. So it really shows how much like Cybertron always needs a bunch of Cybertron.
And to answer Muteki T's question, I prefer Override to be female simply because we do not have enough female Transformers. So anytime we can add one, let's do it. We're dropping frames, so I'm gonna see. Okay, we caught up. OBS is just giving me trouble this week.
Do you got Legacy Inferno yet?
I do, but he didn't make the top 10.
Because I heard really good things about that figure.
Inferno and Tarantulas.
He's great.
I will say this: Inferno and Tarantulas are two of the best figures of the year, but they just didn't make it to the top 10 because they'll probably make the Legacy top 10. But when I started including Studio Series, some stuff had to go. So.
Also, the joke you and me said, weird ankles.
Weird ankles. All right, next up, Studio Series Soundwave, the Bumblebee movie one. Just to specify.
Yep, but
it's like the first Transformer I bought of 2022, but he's still one of the best ones.
And having the Ravage gimmick also is great.
I kind of forgot that he didn't actually come with Ravage because of how well integrated it is. Yeah.
I like the vehicle mode. It is just a flying shape, but I like how weird it is.
I forgot he had a vehicle mode.
It's just Space Invaders.
I love Space Invaders. I don't have a problem with it.
Everyone seems to have a problem with it, except like me.
If you don't like fun, you have a problem with it.
Yeah, I just like it. Just like a sci-fi vehicle.
Movie Space Invaders.
I like sci-fi vehicles when the Transformers are on Cybertron.
I like it much more than wherever the siege alt modes would be.
All right, speaking of weird alt modes, G-Axis, guys.
Oh, G-Axis. Yeah,
G-Axis is a
great.
design that was designed without the intention of becoming a toy, and now he's a toy. I love it. I really love it.
He's such G2. Like, yeah, I love how G2 he is, especially
his face is perfect.
So good.
Let's see if I can get the face in. The face is just perfectly G2. And I love it. The figure transform is great, but he's also got one of the cleanest robot modes of the year. Like, he's got no kibble. It's pretty fantastic. I love this guy. Absolutely one of my favorites for sure. Undefeated. Yeah, G-Axis is. I would say G-Axis is my favorite Voyager because I think Override shouldn't have been a Voyager, but I don't mind paying the price for Override because she's so good.
The Override, I would at least defend in terms of just the quality of her is so good. It feels like doesn't feel like a deluxe.
I didn't mind paying the price, and the thing is too, my next pick to add to this, is Galaxy Shuttle, who I don't think should have been $55. This Astro Train mold is cool, but boy, it's a bit of a stretch.
I think it's the engineering.
It's the engineering thing, and that's fine. It's just. It's the thing with Transformers is you get these characters that are costing the same, and then it's yeah, but why is this guy so much smaller? Even if I know the engineering's more complex, but he comes with a box of stuff that I don't really use too.
Yeah, that's the thing with modern Transformers scaling. It's the whole scale class is not really the whole class system is not really. Oh, leaders are giants now. No, they're just because of the budget.
Whatever the budget is.
Because bigger.
That being said, this is a genius reuse because Galaxy Shuttle. I mean, first of all, you got a toy. Second of all, it came out at Walmart. Third of all, he is just a perfect reuse of Astro Train. The new head gives him the Galaxy Shuttle feel. He's got all the guns. And then his train mode has been painted to look like Galaxy Express 999. So it's just like a double reference, and it definitely was designed by an old school anime nerd, so I can appreciate it a whole lot. Anyways, love Galaxy Shuttle. He's great.
Mm-hmm. That's what is that your favorite Transformer of the year? Because how many?
Oh no, I still got 4 more. That was.
Oh, you're doing top 10. You're doing top 10?
I was doing top 10 because we got Rumble.
All right.
Rumble, Leadfoot, Override, Hauler, Soundwave, G-Axis. I guess I have a top 11. I overcounted. Yeah, I overcounted. My bad. Anyways, Shattered Glass, Ultra Magnus. If anyone was surprised when I opened him on camera. Delta Magnus, him being Delta Magnus does everything for me. The geniusness of
another Mythos character for you.
Another Mythos character for me because it was another one of those things that I saw the original trailer. I'm like, why does Magnus look like that? And then I found out later thanks to the internet. So it's an ingrown here's a color scheme on something that. I researched before, and now it's a more available version.
Also, it's such a smart move to have the normal Magnus head. Because it's a Shattered Glass Magnus, but they include
the Shattered Glass head and the normal head, making it a 2-in-1. Excellent stuff. I love that.
I know Shattered been doing that more because I think was it the Buzzworthy 5-pack or was it 4-pack that came out?
The
for
Creatures Collide 4-pack all come with their normal heads and then also an alternate head, which is awesome.
So Hasbro been doing that more because it's all because they come on the same mold sprue, because that's how Transformers work nowadays. Where if they have a planned remold ahead of time, they'll put the mold in the sprue of the figure so they can make it later.
Yep.
So it's kind of nice they're doing that, just giving you both options for now. You just want to have the different head.
All right, next pick because I got 3 more. Motor Master. I'm not taking them apart to just get Motor Master. Here's the thing. As a combiner, this is I'll just hold this piece because I don't have a breakdown yet. As a combiner, it's pretty much just everybody's hopping onto an exoskeleton. But my God, this is amazing. This is the most stable combiner we've gotten since Devastator.
Makes
So
me really want them to redo all the combiners, honestly, because the combiner war system
they
was
don't
fun,
all need
but
to work
man,
exactly like this, but the idea that, hey, maybe the G1 toys had a point by making the hands and feet and some of the torso separate pieces to accommodate it. Because that's essentially what this is that Motormaster's trailer just becomes a replacement for
he only
parts of the body.
Motormaster himself just becomes the back, like there's the rest of the upper
Yeah,
chest,
and
pretty
he's got
much.
the
That's
head.
it.
He's got the head in there.
Mhm.
But essentially, it's like it's taking the old school G1 combiner thing of, oh, we couldn't figure out where to put the rest of that robot in there, so we just included it as separate pieces. It works because the final robot mode is just, it's excellent, it's solid, it doesn't fall over like all my Combiner Wars guys. So
Yeah, that's the combine.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the combiner
It's
war.
funny.
The
Like
whole
the only one I remember having good quality was really just the Bruticus mold.
Bruticus mold's the worst
Like-
for me next to Piranacon. Out of Combiner Wars, Bruticus is the worst for me because he cannot hold together for some reason. Like Onslaught is a bit of a mess. Superion is the most solid after all these years. Piranacon is the absolute worst out of all of them. He doesn't even stand on his own.
Well, as we know, everything's a remold of those combiner wars silver bolts.
Yes.
But yeah, so, I think the problem with the combiner wars is fun with the scramble combination, but it really did falter because everything, even Superior, is a wobbly mess.
Yep.
Because of how the things are structured. So
And
like,
I'm all here for redoing the combiners. I wasn't sure if I was, it's kind of like with Siege, where I was like, do I want to buy all the G1 84 Autobots again? And then I got some of them, I'm like, all right, I'm in.
I mean, making Minotaur the first is a smart move because I think everyone unanimously agreed that Combiner War Minotaur is the worst
He's
one.
the worst. Oh
Yep.
my god.
And
That was horrible.
Piranacon is like the next worst because he doesn't hold together at all. Like I
I
can't even
would
get
say
him to stand.
Defensor. It's funny because Defensor was my second worst one.
Yeah, like Combiner Wars or whatever the Legends Piranacon. I spent so much money on that and it was not worth it. He can't stand in combined mode because he's too heavy. Speaking of too heavy, here's Titan class Metroplex, my new child.
Your son. I love Titan, the legacy.
I finally
Metroplex
get
so
what
much.
the G1 kids have been screaming about when they get like an update to a toy they had as a kid. They're like, "Wow, it's like the toy I had, but bigger." And I'm like, "Yeah, now I've experienced it." That being said, don't pay full price for this guy. He's not worth full price.
That's
But he's great.
That's the thing, because besides the $200 price, which is I don't think that's more of a Hasbro problem than I say the toy's fault. Really, is I think a lot of people really drag on this figure too much, and I don't because I see people compare it to the original toy. I'm like, really, the only advantage the original toy has in my eyes is just having his minicon. And that's it, because some people go like, "Oh, he doesn't have a cyber key planet
His cyber key gimmick
like,
was one of the dumbest ones.
All it did is his buzzsaw open and it had
I'd rather have like the buzzsaw working properly.
No, the buzzsaw with the ratchet, it's like the most satisfying things ever. Whereas like,
I also just love the size of him. I like how our first two Cybertron figures was let's take the springs out of Override and let's make Metroplex the right size.
Yeah, because he's scale accurate now.
Yep.
To the Cybertron.
Because the original toy was how big can we fit it? What's the biggest we can make on a Transformer and still fit him into like an old leader class prize?
And yeah, he was a leader class. That's a Supreme class. That was Primus.
Right, yeah. Original Metroplex was an engineering feat to fit it into like what was like a $35, $40 figure at the time, and he was huge, and that's why he's so skinny. But I think as a Titan class figure, yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm cool with our new scale accurate Metroplex, and I'm also happy I only paid like $125 for him. That kind of thing.
Yeah, like but like if he was the old Titan price point, I think no one would have been super complaining about it.
Because they suddenly jumped the price to $200 on Titans, which was ridiculous. Because
my only legitimate issue with Metroplex is I wish his ab crunch was a little more tighter, so you compared to everything else, which are super tight. Tight, where it feels like
that's the thing on mine is I constantly have to keep adjusting him because he's just.
Yeah, because essentially how every other joint feels like you need to wrestle him in order to move it, and I do not like. And I'm not a big fan of the hands. I feel like the hands could have been better.
And that's why I'm glad the third-party upgrade kit is hands and drill bit, and I'm like, that's good. That'll fix every problem I have. Because I can fix the torso joint. I just gotta take them apart and tighten it.
Honestly, the coolest engineering thing, I think, how they handled the cross plate, where it will literally move up to give more legs, to give the legs more possibility
Hmm.
and such. I also like the worker mode. I really like how they update the worker mode, where it actually kind of looks like
Yeah, I
a
forgot about the worker
drone
mode.
unit.
Yeah.
What I like about it is like it feels like the designer that of how like you got the backward got the shovel feet the
Hmm.
with the feet backward they got the shovels it kind
I
of
would
looks like they
transform
actually
him on
logically
camera,
think-
but everyone's going to hear ratchet sounds for like 20 minutes
yeah
while I try to figure it
ratchet
out, so we're not
everywhere.
going to do that. But we'll
Yeah, no.
we'll have pictures of that and video in the rundown.
I wish I was
Ugh.
just a couple of years younger so I could appreciate that piece of crap.
I got to tell you guys though, the Transformer of the year, the number one for me, is Transmetal 2 Megatron.
Exactly.
I heard it's because because I
I
don't
had
have
to cancel a lot of Legacy Wave 3 pre-orders because of money. I kept Inferno and Transmetal Megatron out because I was like, I'm not dropping either of those. And I'm so glad I kept Megatron because he's amazing.
I haven't got the figure yet, but here's it because I never
Hey,
really was a big
Soundout,
fan.
how's your ratcheted hip?
Oh yeah, that's my only problem is that you can hear the ratchet on one and the other one. Oh, it's working now. Never
Oh,
mind.
now it's working.
It's working but because I don't have the figure yet, but like just seeing from reviews and pictures, like I never was a big fan of Dragon Megatron a lot as a kid.
Well,
But I
the
think my
original
problem
toy was awful.
yeah. I
Yep.
think that's the because the show model I think it was fine. But I think I always see the toy first, and yeah, the original toy was a really bad toy.
As someone that had the
So-
original Megatron toy since he was a kid and had Cryotech since he was out, yeah, no, that mold sucks.
Dude, it so sucks because
But this is so
the
good, and I want it in
transformation
blue
requires you to
now.
flip the wings over. Remember that whole thing about
Yep.
you have to flip the wings up and over to do a trans? I was always afraid I was gonna break the wings.
I
because
broke
it
the
wouldn't
wing on
swing.
mine doing the transformation. Yeah. Actually, between Megatron and Black Arachne, I had like 2 Transmetal 2s break on me just trying to transform them.
That's just a problem with Transmetal 2. I know this when as the years
Yeah.
go
like
on.
the only good Transmetal 2s were Cheetor and Dinobot out of the main cast, pretty much.
Yeah.
I
But
think Optimus kind of holds up
I
pretty
also
well.
think
but
Well, they
Tiger
didn't
Hawk's
yeah,
pretty
but
good.
they were like, he's not a Transmetal 2, even though he was a Transmetal 2.
The toy box said Transmetal 2, so that's what matters.
Okay, because I remember looking online and no one classifies him as a Transmetal 2.
He was a
it's
Transmetal 2 in marketing. Tiger
Okay.
Hawk I still will say is great. But
Tiger Hawk I like, but he's definitely that's the toy. Like was glad it's getting an update according to the listings because I really
Yes.
like Hawk, but
That
he
thing
definitely
lost all of
limited.
his parts in like day one. I remember all my friends like losing so many parts on him and
his
Rampage.
missile. Oh my god, Rampage. I am missing so many legs off Rampage.
Rampage needs a new toy so badly.
It does seem like
Well, he is
Hasbro's
a
like
crab. We do eat a lot of those legs, man.
Hasbro's moving in on doing more Beast Wars. We're doing Transmetal stuff. I love this.
If we can get a shocker rack off of Rampage, that would be my ultimate like happiness.
I'm still waiting on my perfect depth charge where his backpack isn't a mile away from his body.
I know, right? I kind of like the original.
I
toy,
love
but
the
he's a
disc gimmick,
nightmare.
but it's a problem.
He's a shelf. He's a
I
shelf.
find it funny,
nightmare.
Sound out how just you and me right now literally had both of our Megatrons in Dragon mode and nothing else. Like
I
picked up
I had
yours,
to put him
picked
in
up
robot
mine.
mode for the Star Saber video, so I could I put him in robot mode for the Star Saber video for a size comparison, and then he went straight back to Dragon mode, and he's been staying since.
Yeah, no,
But
I can't wait to like get the new add-on kit to make his tail longer.
I don't
and
even think I need that.
and he has the wig, and he has the,
The wig.
Yes,
the
and
wig,
he has
the
the
wig
judge's
sells me
wig.
more than tail extensions.
All right, well, you can give me $5, and I'll give you my wig.
That might be an option. Our next topic's Tokusatsu, but do we have any questions before we do that?
Do you want us to give our quick 5 at least top 5 Transformers?
Any of the ones that I didn't mention, go for it.
Core class Iguanus or Bombers. I really like those two a lot.
Those two were great. They almost made the list.
Deluxe Tarantulas. I really like the I got
real quick. Psycho O said Star Saber wasn't. I don't include Haslabs in top 10s because it's unfair.
cheating.
Yeah, the Haslab is the #1 thing of the year, regardless. Galactus is the #1 Marvel Legend. Victory Saber is the #1 transform. That's just they're in a league of their own. So,
But
anyways,
yeah,
back to your
yeah,
tarantulas.
like tarantulas was the mold I was not expecting to like the most of Wave 2, but I really like tarantulas.
He turned out nice.
Voyager wise, honestly, I can't. Let's see, with Wave 1 Bulkhead, now then like, honestly, GX, it might be GX, but I don't have any of the Wave 3 ones, so I can't really say anything of the Wave 3. But so for the ones I have, GX is probably. Leader wise, again, I can't have Dragon Megatron, so there's the ones I have. I actually do like the Blitzwing mold a lot. And yeah, and actually, no, Voyager Override, because that's definitely
Override.
Voyager Override, so Voyager Override, yeah. And later will be Blitzwing for the ones I have now, but I feel like it's gonna be Dragon Matron when I get that.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
SSJ4
but-
Jason said Night Scream. Yes, because
Oh, that is
I
it
love
giant?
Beast Machines. I legitimately love Beast Machines, and I know eventually they'll run out of Beast Wars characters, and we'll get Beast Machines. I know it's gonna happen. Anyway,
Oh, you know what? Night Screen that's giant.
I
with the
have
rest
it.
of the
I already
cast.
have it. I have all the main characters from Beast Machines in their original toy forms. I would love updates to all of them because not a single one of those is satisfying.
Which primal do you have?
I have Blast Punch because that's the one that's more accurate.
And it won't disintegrate on you because wasn't the first one literally made out 9% translucent plastic?
Yep. But I have Blast Punch Primal because he is the better one. That's the final word on that. Anyways, Wheels, do you have any favorite Transformers you want to mention?
Well, mostly that I got so far this year was just like Megatron, Tarantulas, Inferno. Those came out pretty good. The Elita 1 mold's pretty good. The Minerva mold off of it is probably a little bit better.
I still
But
frustrated. I
they
can't find it.
but their asses are too dummy thick, so that the actual car part doesn't peg in right. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that is
literally
the
not
weird
kidding. Like
part.
their
Like
butts are so
they won't connect. It's strange.
like they have dummy thick butts that it pushes the back part out from connecting correctly.
I
that they
really
don't
hope
peg in
I
right.
hope they do a second
Uh,
Red Minerva because I yet to find that and that frustrates me.
Sludge is good because I mean it's a Dinobot. All the Dinobot molds have been great.
Oh, Ironhide,
And
the C-Series Ironhide, I really like that
and
mold.
my Galvatron hasn't arrived yet from Studio Series that I got for like $20. Studio Series Galvatron from what do you call that thing? Age of
Age of
Extinction.
Extinction.
Like that thing looks great. I just wish I could have got the Tim Hida add-on kit sooner before it sold out because I wasn't sure I was going to get the figure in time. And then I got the figure and then the Tim Hida add-on kit, which gives him his actual forearm blades and a better cannon and more missiles.
I forgot he had arm blades in the movie.
Yeah, they're like actually built into his arms. But the thing is he only deployed them twice in the entire film, and it's like for like stop motion 3D slow mo Matrix crap.
On that note,
To
do
boost
you have
that
any other
IMAX.
Transformers? Because I do want to get the show on the road because we got a few.
No,
more
I
things
think
to
that's
talk
all
about.
of them.
Cool.
I gotta go grab dinner.
So on that note, we're gonna switch to Tokusatsu. This was a weird category to do because I buy a lot of Tokusatsu stuff, but I didn't buy a lot of Tokusatsu stuff this year.
All right, I'm just gonna say Geets right now. I got the belt. It was great. I'll be back from dinner.
Desire Driver. I did not buy myself a Desire Driver. My runner-up, my third place Tokusatsu roleplay item is the D Flasher from Decker. Because I was like, I could buy a Desire Driver, or I could buy this thing that is going to give me a nice set of cards, and then I could buy one other card set and be done. And if anyone collects Tokusatsu toys, you know that the temptation to be done after only two things is really tempting. And I really like this thing, even though I think it looks like a giant coffee mug.
It really does. Will you say it's a lot better than where you're expecting it to be?
It's way more fun than I thought it would be, honestly. The actual card gimmick is really easy to use, and I don't know, it feels good in the hand, honestly. Yeah, I like the sounds too. The fun part too is that I think the part that got me to want more cards beyond just the Decker forms, the Kaiju cards make kind of a generic sound. Like for example, here's Miklas, because he's the best boy. Like that's all the sound he makes, and that's pretty much all the kaijus. They pretty much make the same sound, and then they just add the kaiju roar. So they're not as exciting. But for the Ultramans, like for example, let me grab him here. Trying to grab through. Not Zero. I wanted Zet. Dang it. So for like Zero has his full transformation, but like Zet has his full transformation with the music and everything.
It's their original, right?
Yeah. So I like that they have the transformation sounds for the Ultras. So I really do like it, and I didn't expect to like it that much. I thought it was like I thought it was kind of dumb when I first saw it, and then Decker as a show has just clicked with me so much that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy one.
Will you get the dynamic sword and shielding?
Probably not because of shipping, but I'm kind of tempted because they look really fun. But I did get this. I got the card holder set, so I got the set one. I also this is not in the top 10 or anything, but I got Guts Falcon and Guts Hawk, and they're really really fun too. I'm gonna make a YouTube short on these guys. Just
the Guts. What's the Decker one called again?
The Guts Hawk.
The Guts Hawk really looks like a lost Dyna vehicle.
It really does, and I love playing with these and transforming them. So that's pretty great. And yeah, I mean it's not going to be that much of a surprise, but
Warbring.
The Decade Driver 2.0, which I didn't bring the whole belt out, I just brought the core. This is number 2, and the Orb Ring is number 1 because nothing beats these. The Decade Driver 2.0, I think I keep forgetting it came out this year because I really do like it and I like all the new sounds they added, but because it kind of caps off at Decade, the Orb Ring impresses me a lot more because it goes beyond the show it's from as well as to the past.
The Decade Driver 2.0 is specifically meant to represent just the Decade, the Decade of series, and that's the Decade series of movies, but not that's a post stuff. So it feels a little more limiting. Even though it does a lot, it's still like it's stuck in that period of Decade in his movies, and that's it.
And I know it's because they're gonna do the Neo Decade Driver. It's just gonna happen, you know. So there's that.
With the Orb Ring, I think I feel more impressed because it had the whole magic of discovering new fusions yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I imagine people are still trying to find out how to unlock Ryga still.
The thing that's got me is that like Strong Corona Zero isn't in it, even though Luna Miracle is. Ryga's not in it despite having everything else, and there's just some there's just some that are just slightly missing. Like you can't do like Taiga Photon Earth, and it's like, why didn't they just go for a full set of things, right? So that was just like, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like, I know there's got to be some extra sounds in here, but I think after set 2 is all mostly kaiju, but there's got to be a third set because there's also some kaiju cards missing for Victory and X forms.
And that's you can't cheat with this thing unlike with other things because it's
like if you got the barcodes, you could cheat the D-flasher to give you sounds. This thing you need chip programming, so unless you have the data, you're not going to get it. So yeah, I don't know what the extent of this is, and that's pretty amazing for any device. I did see this SSJ4 Jason. Isn't there a message where you scan the 6 Ultra Brothers? Yeah, it's ultra overlapping for Taro to become Super Taro. I've tried it in every combination. I even tried putting Taro at the end, like doing Man through Taro. It still does Super Taro if it's just those 6. So it's probably why they added the Ultraman with the mantle card, because that gives a guy giving a message to Ultraman on his 55th birthday. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
That's the thing, because I feel like
nothing else.
Some sounds locked behind specific card versions, and such like that.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of other Tokusatsu stuff, I didn't really buy any Sentai toys. Rider, we talked about my CSMs because I did not buy a Desire Driver. I thought about it, but I'm like, man, am I gonna get myself into it? And then I was like, I'm gonna go buy cards for my D-Flasher instead.
I would say, because I think of Geets' Twilight, my favorite's probably the Command Sword, because I just like how it works as a toy and show. Just the fact you had to actually activate the other part and such like that. It's just I find that it's a cool gimmick and such.
I bought a lot
Also,
of candy toy stuff this year, like
also,
Soto
I
Chronicle.
while they're not perfect, I do really love the rider change gimmick figure of
I
Geats.
just wish they didn't go to P Bandai so quick.
Yeah, because I think just the engineering wise, I just love how smartly engineered they are.
Mhm.
It just, man, yeah, just that one I would actually want to kind of collect.
Yeah. Psycho has brought up CSM Ultra Ring. That's one of my favorite Toku things of the year, but it didn't come out this year. Only the US release was this year, so I didn't want to count it. But I like that, I think, more than the Decade Driver, not just because I waited so long for it, but because it's Agito. But just because I love the feel of how large that belt is, too.
All right, so we only have 20 minutes left. So do
Yep.
you want to
I'm
flash
gonna
through
roll
the
through.
next topics?
I'm gonna roll through some action figures. SH Figuarts, because I did promise this. Here's the top 5 Figuarts for me. First of all, the Figuarts Dukemon Rebirth of the Holy Knight that I did a whole video on. I didn't feel like pulling him down from the shelf. He's really big.
I would comment in terms of one of my favorite toys of the year. The Figuarts Standard Gallantmon Dukemon is surprisingly really fun and solid.
I was curious because oh, hey,
I
Ultraman 52, welcome to the chat. Thanks
Hello.
for being new to the chat.
Yeah, no, I recently
Yeah.
got it got it for with birthday money. It's a fun, solid kit. It's like not the most fanciest kit ever, like especially compared to the figure art, of course. But like, hold on, it's like it's very a fun, solid kit. Like essentially, you can put it next to your anime heroes Beelzemon. It's
I
just
should really recommend that kit to people because, like, I love the figure art and I'm not going to buy the model kit because I'm covered with the figure art.
It has a really nice cloth cape. It's like such a nice, like smooth, essentially compared to the Masterverse. Like I got the Masterverse She-Ra and Hordak on sale. Those capes are very bad. They're just like quality wise, they're so like thin and see-throughy. While the Gallantmon has nothing like a very like it feels like a blanket I'm holding with it.
That's pretty great.
And the shield, the shield's really nice. It's not too heavy like the Figuarts Standard Amplified. It's nice and hollow, and you can pose it. Same with the lance. It like really gives you a lot of nostalgia for like Bandai America's figures. Weirdly enough, of
like
the
good
storyline.
Bandai of America Digimon figures. That's good to hear.
Yeah, and the
for
posability, like it can like kick really high. It doesn't even have drop down hips. It can kick really high just due to design of Gallantmon.
All right. So on that note, we're gonna lightning round the rest of the best toys of the year because I did want to get through this. I don't want to do a third week of best of the year stuff.
Yeah.
Real quick, Tal Bitten, welcome to the chat. He wanted to say, or they wanted to say, hey, hi, welcome to the chat. Always a good time. But we're gonna lightning round the rest of the topics because I got a few figures I want to talk about. First of all, SH Figuarts. I did one of each line that I collect. Best Sentai figure art was Don Momotaro. I haven't watched Don Brothers yet, but this figure's just amazing.
Does it win by default? I think when did
Zen Kaiser came out this year too, and he's not as good.
Right.
Zen Kaiser has a lot of restricted mobility. Don Momotaro can like crouch up his legs like better than Spider-Man can, and that's just pretty impressive because the Sentai figure art should have that much range. I don't know why characters like Zen Kaiser or most of the other Sentai figure arts were so limited. But Don Momotaro is just really fun to play with. So that's a huge positive in his camp. Ultraman-wise, it goes to Astra for being the most complete package. There's literally nothing missing from him. The only thing would be the orb he held when he fought with Regulos, but that comes with Regulos, and that makes sense. But he's got the giant key sword thing, the key blaster.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Reboot, because that Reboot came with everything.
Was Reboot out this year?
Yeah, Reboot. You got Reboot this year.
Okay.
I think it came out.
All right. Well, Astra, one of the 2 complete packages this year after Reboot. I thought Reboot was last year. Wow. Anyways, Reboot's another good one. Decker's honestly pretty good, even though it doesn't come with the sword. But Astra is also nice because Astra has had very little media appearances, but still got a retail figure art, which is great. And he comes with everything. So also he can balance on one leg. That's what puts him over Reboot right there. Arbitrary things. Kamen Rider, Arc Zero, for the level of detail, the level of paint. He's P Bandai, but most Kamen Rider figure arts are. But he comes with so many weapons because he comes with basically all of the attaché weapons from 01. plus effects, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, if I was looking through my writer Figuarts, and this is the one.
How's
I
Black
wanted.
Sun? Yeah, the one retail figure.
Black Sun's great. The only thing that I have problems with him is that he gets a little restricted in articulation due to the design. But he's also missing accessories that he could have come with because they tossed it in with the bike instead.
Of course.
That's just how it goes. But Arc Zero is a complete package, and that's why he gets to win out. And then for Naruto, it's Naruto because of the price point.
The Naruto, you get
he's like $30-$35, and yet is a fully featured figure. So
you could get it, and you could now get him in certain Targets.
Yep. He's been showing up at Targets. Look for the one that is Jinchuriki entrusted with hope.
The one that has a black ink brush.
Black ink brush style. Yeah, definitely try to get the newest one because he's excellent. I think Sasuke and Sakura are great. I haven't got Kakashi yet. Still waiting on him.
I think Sakura, because I think was Sakura pre-Bandai?
No, Sakura was retail.
Yeah, because I did sell Sakura at, I think, GameStop. It looks like they are re-releasing. It looks like they are releasing new Naruto Figuarts in more stores.
That's good because they're really good, and Naruto's
interesting.
popular enough it could be anywhere. But yeah, Kakashi's retail.
Wait, you're telling me that Naruto, father of Boruto, is popular?
Yeah.
The guy in Fortnite.
Yeah, Boruto's dad. He's popular. He
popular.
had an anime.
I'd say
Kid
that
Naruto and
Super
Sasuke
Saiyan
are also
4 would be
retail.
my favorite figure. If I had one.
Exactly.
Your Super Saiyan 4 Goku journey is not over yet, is it?
Nope.
He's gonna get one eventually.
Yep.
I mean, I got my Vegeta in my order.
I mean, it still says waiting to release. So I'm like, oh.
That is the sad part about toys is when you're like, but everybody else got one. Where's mine? That was me with the Agito belt for like a whole year.
If I had one.
All right.
Exactly. You got the reference, yeah.
Lightning round.
If I had one.
I'm going to talk about toys that are not getting covered in rundowns. These are just favorite figures of the year, okay? So you guys may comment as you wish. But here we go. First of all, let's talk Ninja Turtles because I put it in the thumbnail. I haven't opened it, so I don't know if this counts, but this Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze box set with all 4 turtles is probably my favorite Ninja Turtles movie release of the year from NECA.
I'm assuming it's like the first movie set, but with all Secret Ooze accessories and such like
that. All
that?
Secret of the Ooze accessories, and the bodies have been updated to have farther range in the elbows and knees.
Oh, that's nice.
So they are better. I also got the accessory set to give them more stuff. I just haven't had the chance to open this up.
I did pick up the recent. It was like for the recent 80s Turtles box set.
The one with the disguise costumes.
Not the re-release of that one after the sky
costume. Oh right, yeah. The sort of simpler box set. That one's a good set too.
Yeah, I got that.
Better than the ones I have.
I got it. Yeah, because my only problem with the first set is their face sculpts are so generic, and all these ones are cartoon accurate. Speaking
of cartoon accurate, here is the NECA animated TMNT Usagi Yojimbo. Freaking amazing. He's a small little guy, but he just has every accessory, every detail. Just excellent. And this is actually, I think, because they haven't shown anything I really want, because the animated TMNT line is getting too obscure for me. I think Usagi's going to be it. I think he's the last one that I'm getting. It was like him and the Neutrinos was all I got this year for the animated stuff. But I think I'm done. I might get the new April because they are saying that they're going to make a new April.
That's approved from the weird bobblehead.
Yeah, as long as it's better than the previous one, I'll probably get that. But I'm pretty much done with Usagi, and Usagi's just fantastic. So great figure. Sticking with TMNT, you think my favorite of the Mirage Comics Turtles figures would be Casey Jones, because he's my favorite Ninja Turtles character, but it actually goes to the Ultraman robot because I just love it. I'm so impressed by like the tech detail and the way they did the shading on it. He just got kind of this really, really cool look. I love that the Ultraman comes out of the body without problems. He's not sticking and getting plugged in. He just kind of squeezes in. Nice and neat. And my favorite feature of this is the gripping hand to hold the weapons is actually soft plastic. What a surprise!
The paint won't chip?
The paint won't chip, and you can actually stretch it without using a hairdryer. It only took NECA how long to learn that? But anyways, love the Ultraman. absolutely amazing figure. Let's see. Going next, we're sticking with TMNT. Super 7 Ultimates. I didn't get Mondo Gecko till this year, so he would be my number 1 of the year. Technically, he shipped last year, so my number 1 is Slash. But if you let me count Mondo Gecko, his number 1, Slash is number 2. This is taking the old Playmates designs and then blowing them up to a huge size, and I love both of these so much. This Mondo Gecko is just perfect. This Slash, perfect. I love these two. Just excellent figures.
So is that it for your TMNT?
That's it for TMNT. Do you got any TMNT stories to share before
I
fire
don't
off the
have
others?
besides before I don't really, but in terms of I'll get to my favorite thing. One kit I'm surprised by, and one kit I really love. My favorite kit, model kit of the year, and probably figure of the year is the Kobakia Mega Man DXE model kit. I think it's just a perfect model kit for the character. A lot of great engineering decisions. Just a solid kit. My most surprising kit, how good it is the new Figuarts standard new spec Goku model kit. I was really shocked when I got it and built it because it improves everything from the old model kit Gokus, and honestly, I like it more than the Figuarts Goku of the new mold. It has a lot of smart engineering decisions that because if I look when you build, there's no butterfly joints, but the way how they engineered the arms, all you need to do is rotate the arms forward, and they're already in close. The arms are close enough to do the Kamehameha blast effect.
Oh, that's excellent.
Blast pose. Yeah, it's all color separated, no stickers besides whatever symbol you want on Goku's gi. The face sculpts are fantastic. It is a surprisingly good figure. If this is what going to be the Dragon Ball Figuarts standard kits moving forward, I'm actually really forward of getting them. Getting them. But yeah, those are two favorite figures this year.
Muteki T asked, "Is Mega Man EXE kit worth it for $70 at Big Bad?"
I would definitely say yes and no. You can probably find, honestly, you probably could get it a little more cheaper. You order from Hobby Link Japan, shipping aside maybe. But it is definitely a really good kit. It's all color separated, no stickers. Comes with a lot of accessories. So I definitely say get it. Maybe Big Bad. If you don't like Big Bad prices, I do recommend getting it from Hobby Link Japan. That's where I got it, where I paid about $60 for the base price and maybe a little bit of shipping. But still, I do recommend it.
All right, moving from there, favorite Thundercats figure of the year was Monkeyan. I love him. I don't know what else to say besides he's a giant angry monkey man. He's great. Monkeyan's fantastic. Really good stuff. Let's see. Muteki T, before you go to HLJ, watch me. Remember, I have an HLJ affiliate thing. I'll find the kit here. Ryan, could you find the link for the Mega Man kit?
Make sure you turn your ad off.
I will explain in a minute. Ryan, if you could grab me the link to the thing, I will get an HLJ affiliate link so you can help support the channel because I forget to plug this. Anyways, so switching from that, NECA's Gargoyles line, the best figure is Bronx, not just because Bronx is a good boy, but because Bronx has the folded wings for Goliath, so Goliath is actually shelf manageable now.
Yeah, he actually went on the shelf.
I love the Gargoyles line from NECA, but the fact everybody has 12 to 14-inch wingspans is insane. So Bronx is great because he makes Goliath better. That's
all right. There you go, Santa. By the way, on Twitter, I send you the.
All right, let me get this link prepped. Yeah, no, I love that NECA's doing Gargoyles, and I love the Gargoyles figures we've gotten. It's just holy cow, do I not like the wingspans because they drive me a little crazy, a little batty. But let's see, we're gonna click this. Let's see, click or tap link to copy. Why are you not copying? Let me pull up the Skype chat or the YouTube chat. I'm just gonna post it publicly here, so that way anybody uses that link. If you turn your ad blocker off, if you have an ad blocker on, because that will actually make it work. The ad blocker will cause it to not work, but that'll help support the channel if you order using that link. Psycho did bring up that I complain about SHS coming with accessories for different figures. Yeah, I do here too, because I rather that Goliath had the wing cape, or I wish that the Gargoyles figures more specifically had the half-folded wings. Like, we see it in a lot of artwork where the wings are just kind of at rest. Everybody's wings are completely splayed out. Now, the other thing I'll add is the reason why they're including things like Goliath's wing cape with Bronx is so that every figure is about the same price, because they just included his wings with Bronx because Bronx is a smaller character. So I get it, but I would have liked Goliath having the half-folded wings and then the wing cape being with Bronx, just to make that a little easier. But honestly, they should just make a wing pack at this point. All right, staying in the world of NECA, this Doc Brown figure is really great, and I just wanted to show him off. I didn't really have anything else beyond that. It's the Doc Brown in the hazmat suit from the first Back to the Future when they're testing the car. So it's kind of the
Like anyone
iconic
cares.
Doc Brown. I know nobody cares. I just like Back to the Future. Okay.
I like Back to the Future too, but not enough to buy figures of it.
Favorite NECA monster of the year is the Kessler Werewolf. Is anyone surprised? I really gushed about this during Month of Monsters, but this is a beautiful figure. A very close second, though, is the cartoon version, because NECA put out a cartoon Kessler Werewolf and Jack in his zombie form as a 2-pack, and it came out literally the day before Month of Monsters ended, and I was like, dang it. You were so close to being part of Month of Monsters, but the cartoon 2-pack is pretty great. Let's see, I'm going to move more figures off my table. Let's see. Speaking of monsters, Jada Toys' Invisible Man was about a month and a half too late to be in Month of Monsters, but he's amazing. He comes with a part like this where he's removing his glove, so you just line it up with the empty slot, and then his robe is actually like a nice flexible material, so it doesn't get in the way of him being able to high kick as the Invisible Man. So that's pretty cool. Jada Toys just doing really awesome stuff.
I'm looking forward to her Capcom figure so much.
Mm-hmm. Sentinel's Changerion figure is excellent. This thing literally looks like the suit brought to life as an action figure, which is just impressive. I should do a video on it.
Dunk it in water to see if it survives. Then.
Oh god, I don't know if do I want to dunk a $120 figure into water?
Yes.
You know what? It may be worth it. Here's another one. We have the Naughty or Nice collection of Sergeant Santa. This is from a independent company that's selling through Big Bad Toy Store Santa Claus action figures, and this is Sergeant Santa Claus. Go around. My mom got the traditional Santa, and I got the Sergeant Santa, and he's amazing with his red, green, and white camouflage, and his bazooka, and his cigar. He's gonna totally hang out with my G.I. Joe team. That's where he's gonna live on the shelf. But
I kind of need to get this Santa and the one your mom has now, so I can recreate the South Park Santa with his RPG.
You could.
All I can think of is Arthur's Christmas. If you guys seen that movie with the military elves and everything.
Oh yeah. Best Masterverse of the year. New Attorney of Beastman, because I don't know. Look at him. Masterverse has had a weird year, but this new Attorney of Beastman's like my favorite.
I do really like the Hordak figure a lot. It just my only problem with it is the weird watch they put on his head.
Yeah, Hordak and She-Ra I think are contenders, but they weren't able to beat Beastman for me. So.
My only problem with Hordak, another problem is the shield. I don't get why he has a shield where you literally can't put it on his wrist without stretching.
Yeah, the shield is Masterverse is a whole can of worms. Let's wrap up with some DC, because someone asked about DC last week. Mafex Cyborg Superman is my Mafex pick of the year, as in I think I only got one this year because of how long these take to come out. If you guys think Super 7 delays are bad, you should look at Mafex and Mezco. Anyways, Cyborg Superman, he just came out. The last Mafex I got before this was the Return of Superman in the black suit. This is amazing, and I'm totally sold on Mafex Superman figures because of this, because I love the way the cape is done, and he can actually do natural flying poses.
All of these Mafex all look really good.
Mm-hmm. I'm sticking.
I recommend speed rounding this because
we got 2 more figures. This is gonna wrap up in the next 5 minutes. I was gonna say with the DC stuff, I'm trying to be picky, so I've been sticking with the Death and Return of Superman, and but I ordered a Nightwing because I have no self-control, so maybe that'll be on next year's list. McFarlane DC Multiverse. Figure of the year is Starro the Conqueror. Because it's Starro. I've never had a figure of Starro.
You literally can put it on your face.
And he's face
It's
sized.
like prop scale.
He's people sized. It's great. He also has got like a horrifying amount of teeth on the back. So that's pretty great. But yeah, prop scale Starro, amazing. But because he's Build-A-Figure, best single release is the Mega Fig Frankenstein. Because Frankenstein didn't make it out in time for Month of Monsters. But Frankenstein is one of my favorite DC characters, and he's never had an action figure before now, and I just love it. So
quick thoughts. How's the Booster and Beetle set 2-pack?
Booster Gold and Blue Beetle set would be my number 3 pick of the year. They're both great. I love the smooth details as opposed to the more McFarlane-y details. They're standing on their display base over there, so I didn't really want to drag them all the way over. But yeah, Blue Beetle Booster Gold, that's like my number 3 pick for McFarlane. Which I didn't buy a whole lot of McFarlane DC this year because I don't do videos on it. Same thing with Masterverse. I don't do videos. I don't have to like rush on that stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's it for 2022. Toys, video games, books, everything. I will answer whatever questions are in the chat, and then we're going to wrap up because I have plans to get to, and do
you prefer 3D print face or sculpted face like NECA?
You have to do it right in either case. I don't really have a preference. I just want to get stuff that looks like characters. I've seen 3D face print go wrong with Star Wars and Power Rangers. I've seen sculpted figures gone wrong, but also done right. I mean, NECA did a good job with Christopher Lloyd's face on Doc Brown, but they also worked with him on it, and you can't always do that with some characters, so a 3D print is the way you have to do it.
Will you get the Super 7 and Ultimate Godzillas?
I'm going to be picky because I love Godzilla, but I only have so much money. So I currently have only ordered the Mecha Godzilla and what was the recent one? What was the recent one? The one that's in wave... Oh, Destroya. Destroya is the other one I ordered. I'm going to get a Godzilla, and it's probably going to be Final Wars. Like, I'm going to pick my favorite Godzilla suit. But I want to get all the monsters because I think they look amazing.
Is Marvel Eternal worth it for $50 on Amazon?
Marvel Eternal? Clarify Marvel Eternal, because I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm going to Google it right now to find out if anything comes up, because I know there's Eternals, the movie, but yeah, only things come up as Eternals. So, asking for a clarification, and I can give you an answer. The PS5 game, Midnight Suns? Oh, yeah, Midnight Suns is worth 50 for sure. That's worth 60. That's one of those long experience games. I've put like a bunch of hours into it already. I'm not done. So
all right. Any last words before we end?
Last words as we plug. But because I got to get going. Thank you everyone for tuning in on the live stream. I always appreciate everyone that shows up. We will be streaming next Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. If you want to ask me any questions tomorrow.
What's the video plans for the week? What's going to be the video schedule for this week?
Let me plug Kaus's stream, and then I'll do that, because I almost forgot. So, let's see. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Right? No, that's not right.
Yeah, right.
4 p.m. Eastern. God, time zones. 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. We're going to be on Fighter Kaus on Twitch, talking stuff while we do King of Fighters. So if you want to chase me down for questions there, find me there. Also, be sure to check out Hero Club Weekly. Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern on the Hero Club for Life Twitch page. And then there's also streams happening. Is Jerry back to Fridays now?
Yes.
Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fighter Kaus. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern on Hero Club for Life. And I think that's everything. Is all our streams? Go Geek Fighters on Saturday, right?
Yep, Saturday at 5.
There we go. Yeah, we got a lot of streaming. I think I'm the only one that streams on YouTube, though. So, a lot of Twitch stuff. But, yeah. So, we can pretty much go from there. Last questions here. Videos this week. Wednesday, I'm going to get that. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to do the Sentai DVDs. Let's get 5-Man and Opera Ranger out of the way. And Friday, I'm going to do the higher production value version of the Star Trek Playmates 2022 figures. It's going to be similar to the history videos, but more rundowny. So that's the plan there. And then we're going to be hitting rundown season of the yearly videos for Marvel and stuff after that. Anyways, last questions on the chat, and then we'll plug and leave.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Tekken?
Mortal Kombat for story, Street Fighter for characters, Tekken for gameplay.
Everything else. All right, yeah, there you go.
So the answer is yes. What else we got? Let's see. Muteki T says, should I get City Hunters Season 1 for $25? Yes, absolutely worth it. Totally good thing. See, the question about the Decade Ride cards and extra card set, I haven't seen any in my stores yet.
Well, they got from a Japanese toy shop, so do you have any
Yeah,
Japanese
I don't
toy
have any
shops near
Japanese
you?
toy shops. The closest I get is my comic shop will get some stuff sometimes.
Yep, same here.
That's pretty much it. I got my Belial rock that showed up in a previous video. That was a birthday gift from my dad that he bought at our local comic shop. And I keep playing with Starro. Guys, I need to stop. He's just so squishy.
Can you throw the boomerang?
I could, but it's not weighted well enough, so it's gonna like. But he's all rubbery, so he's like really fun to play with because he can pose. He's a happy star.
Have you put it on your Galactus or Sentinel?
No, because I'd be worried about scratching the paint. But anyways, that's that. So, Wheels, where can they find you?
YouTube and Twitter, Wheelchair21.
Kaus, where can they find you?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Fighter Cows.
Ryan, where can they find you?
YouTube, Twitter, Darko643.
And you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, or not Twitch, TikTok. God, I'm getting all things mixed up. Find me on Soundout12 on pretty much everything. Let me do the last two things that popped up in the chat, because these are good questions. I'm excited for the Lightning Collection, Astro Megazord overpriced. I'm going to wait, because if it gets super popular and I have to buy one at full price, I will, but I'll probably get it on sale, just because Power Rangers isn't popular enough to worry about it. Tendori Jones asked, let's see, finish your video about media you bought and liked it. Stuff about your parents, inspiring purchases, interesting. Do they do reviews too? They don't, but a lot of the stuff I review is because they will buy it, because they're supportive of the channel. They have appeared in videos before. My parents have, both parents have shown up in videos. They both were in Month of Monsters, so see if you can find where they were in that. And Common JoJo's gets the final question, saying, if you can only pick one, would you pick Western media or Japanese media? I don't like to pick either because I love keeping my options open. Because I love stuff on both.
No. Here's the plot twist. What you like is Middle Eastern media.
I do love Bollywood. I do love
Bollywood.
Let's not deny my love of Bollywood. Anyways, on that, I'm glad everybody enjoyed this. We will be back next week. And enjoy the videos this week. See y'all next week.